Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome back. How's it going? How is everybody's week going? Welcome back to the Clam Club. Well, sorta. This isn't really the Clam Club, but welcome back anyway. It's Clam Club adjacent. We got nice sunset and everything. How's it going? Hi, Javi Arts. Hi, Lizak. Kirby Master. Hello. Dark Rider. Hi. Plantic. Hi. Leno K. Hi. Hi. It's just over there. Somewhere over there, probably. It's pretty similar. Haley the Hyena. Hello. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Hi, Grape Shits. Hi. 3D Sync, it's been a while. Well, about a week. I streamed with JT like a week and a half ago or something like that. We did something similar to this. Actually, in this same spot, technically. But yeah. This is something that I've actually been wanting to do a little bit more of, or try to do. Actually, I've never technically done this whole thing on my stream before, where we just sort of hang out in VR and talk. I know a lot of furries do this as a stream, and I was always like, well, what do? We just chat for 3 hours? And I'm like, yeah, screw it, let's just chat for 3 hours. You know what I mean? You've never seen this face in your life, definitely not in virtual person. Yeah, definitely not face-to-face with me before. Lexi the Bandy Baby, welcome on in. Hi. How's it going? But yeah, like I've never done this before. I know like JT and Tiger and everybody does this. Everybody just comes in VR and hangs out. And I was always like, am I interesting enough for people to come and hang out with for an hour? I guess we'll see. It's like kind of a vibe. The reason I thought it would be a good idea is because we did kind of like this. After the stream with JT, we hung out for a little while and just kind of stirred down, chatted. We talked about like my gender feelings and like some other stuff. And I thought it went really, really well. And so I was like, you know what? Why not? Why shouldn't we have a VR chat stream? You know what I mean? You go to bed in an hour? Well, thank you for joining me anyway, Kirby. I appreciate it. I'm going to have a surprise for all you guys real soon. Real soon. You guys don't even know how close it is. Gee, I wonder. I know I'm bad at secrets. Bambi Man, hello. Just listen, Liza, just because you've seen the surprise doesn't mean you just get to, like, break the news to everybody or pretend like it's not a big deal, all right? Listen, it's a big deal. You don't remember? It'll be, trust me, it's going to be very, very cool. Yeah, I thought the chill conversations were like a really good vibe, and like that's sort of what I'm going for here. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Actually, it might have even been, yeah, you know what, I think it was during that stream that we literally were doing like exactly the same thing. So I'm just repeating myself now, but I'm trying to like sort of push myself more towards this brand of like a chill streamer that's like a vibe stream, where like you guys come here and we just hang out together. We've got chill music or chill games, and we spend a lot more focus on like talking with chat than on like the games necessarily. I mean, I still want to play games, but I want to do more stuff where we're just hanging out, you know what I mean? And I felt like that vibe we had that stream was like exactly what I was going for. So, you know, do more of that. I can literally just grab the pillows. Oh, there's no physics on the pillows. JT is here? Not today, no. I mean, probably. I don't know if he's online. I don't think he's online. Yeah, no, not online. As you pack your apartment. Oh, rider time. Okay, hang on. I gotta get to Lizak's comment in a second here. Is my camera even gonna pick up rudder time? Hold on. I might have to adjust the camera. We need a higher angle for rudder time. Maybe we need to zoom out more. Oh my gosh. I gotta zoom out for rudder time. There you go. Zoom back in. Get you back in nice and close. Is this TOS compliant? I don't know. Wrenches can cut at me. I'm just showing you a part of my tail. I'm not shaking my butt or anything like that. Just wiggling my tail. It's not a big deal. Hi, Cool Guy Wolf. Welcome on in. Welcome. But yeah, that was sort of like what I wanted to do a little bit more of, is just sort of like hang out and stream a little bit more. Oh gosh, I'm getting really close. I'm just trying to get this pillow further away from me. Just sort of hang out, vibe more. I thought about like maybe we explore a couple worlds. We did that with JT last stream. We did like a puzzle world. I'll be honest, I'm not that familiar with what worlds are in VR chat. I have a couple that I'm really fond of that I think are really cool, but not a lot that I know a lot about. I'm not like a big VR chat user. I know a lot of people in chat that do love VR chat like a lot. I still like it a lot, but I don't have time for it most of the time. You want to have a vague sciencey thing to talk about? We could. Hang on. I feel like I missed something that Lizac said up here. As I pack up my apartment to move to a much more expensive apartment because there's literally nothing else to rent, we can talk about the collapse of society. Yeah, we could do that. We could talk about the collapse of society. But yeah. My science job is going a little... it was very slow, and then it got very, very fast, and now all of a sudden there's like too much to do. And I still sort of feel like I'm in this place where I'm still... like, I'm pseudo-capable, but like I'm capable of doing like half of the job, and then the other half I'm still like, I haven't done any of this before. It's a little wild. We should talk about how fire Webster's music stream was. Sadly, I did not see Webster's stream because I didn't know Webster was streaming, because they didn't tell me they were streaming. So I didn't catch it, unfortunately. So I didn't get to see it. I did see, they linked me the song that they made for Ali. So if you're talking about that, I did see that, and it was pretty good. But yeah, did you guys see the I guess I can't show you because we're in VR. The James Webb Space Telescope is like got all of the mirrors aligned so that like you can see the single star aligned like within the grid, and now they're like bringing them all into focus, and then like the next step after that is to bring all the stars on top of each other so that it's like one single image. They released a picture of the James Webb Space Telescope of like a camera looking back at the lenses, which is really cool. It was really, really cool to see. Yeah, they're organized in like a hex grid because that's the shape of the James Webb Space Telescope, right? That's where all the mirrors are. So what they've done is they've organized them so they know which mirror is associated with like which piece of light, but they're out of focus still, so they have to like adjust the tension on the mirrors and like how far up and down they are in order to like bring those stars into perfect focus. And then after that, what they do is they take each of those and then they're gonna like bring them to the center and focus it on the center so that they're all on the aperture of the camera. And then at that point, we have a telescope, but we don't quite have one yet. Hi, Pickles, welcome in, hello. Did you hear they discovered a new galaxy? I saw the picture of, they had one big galaxy and a smaller galaxy colliding with that galaxy. That was really cool. Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. That's very cool. So apparently, like, it's sort of like what's gonna happen with Andromeda and the Milky Way, where like this is the Andromeda and this is the Milky Way, and they're gonna do like this, and then just go and go all crazy. What's this science stuff? Am I some kind of nerd? Yeah, some kind of nerd. Some kind of nerd. Some kind. It is definitely some high-grade nerd stuff. I feel like we discover galaxies all the time, though. Get in a locker? Hey, you don't push me in there. Come get me. But yeah, space nerd stuff is like my favorite type of nerd stuff, and you'd think I would be an astronomy person, but I'm not. I wanted to be an astrobiologist. Like, there was a time like a few years ago before I moved back out to Seattle and started my work here where I really thought that I was gonna be an astrobiologist. I was looking at a college program for astrobiology, actually. And I actually literally applied, and I was in the discussions with the advisors at that college. And then my husband got this job down in Seattle, and we were like, well, I guess we're moving to America. And then I came out here and now have a really cool job. Yeah, most of the spots in the sky are... Actually, I have a fun story about that. Have I ever wondered if we're alone? I actually think about that all the time. I've talked about that on stream. We could talk about it again. The thing where you said most spots are galaxies, did you know that for a long time, we knew that there were stars, right? And we assumed there were planets, but we couldn't see them. But there were stars that we knew were stars, but then there were other things in the sky when we looked at it with the telescope. They were like smudgy and blurry, right? Like they were like almost like out of focus. And it was very hotly debated at the time whether maybe they were like groups of stars that were all stuck together in some way, like the Milky Way, or maybe they were big ignited clouds of gas, right? And so they literally, like, that was like the hottest debate of science at the time. Proto Cosmo, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for someone on by. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. And so, like, they literally spent all this money to build this giant telescope to determine whether they were, like, groups of stars or big ignited clouds of gas. And then they found out it was both. Because it was literally galaxies and it was nebulas. And so it turned out that all the scientists were right, actually. That actually did happen. And there's a giant telescope that they built to prove it. Unexpected identifier weasel. Ooh. It's a dangerous one, too. You got to be careful for those. Yeah, the dream of the scientist is that even if we're hotly debating a topic, we're all right. Turns out everybody is right, which is great. A lot of the time, yeah, that was the other option, is like maybe it's a smudge on the lens, but obviously it wasn't. It was galaxies. There is a lot of the time, Lysic, in science where it's not that we're trying to prove ourselves right. It's literally that we're just like, I don't know. If we did this, has anybody done this experiment before? I don't like this song on the album. Yeah. No, not this one. This is the same song. There you go. There's a lot of experiments that we run, actually. There's a massive radio telescope at Jawdrill Bank in the UK. I love radio telescopes. They're cool as hell. I have another story about that in a second. Where we're just like, I don't know, nobody's ever done this experiment before, so let's just get some data. And so you do that, and then you just compile all this data, and then you sift through it and go like, oh, this is a new thing. Nobody's found this before. That's a lot of science. Like a lot of science. You'd be surprised. Radio telescopes are really cool. The only one that I've really toured, however, was the, not the VLA, but the Green Bay? I think it's, no, not Green Bay, Greens Bank. It's in Virginia. I don't remember what it's called, though. But it's like this big, it's like the biggest single radio dish, standing, movable radio dish. I don't remember what it's called, though. It's really cool. I love, like, the search for extraterrestrial life. Somebody asked me if I think about, like, whether or not we're alone or not. I have a lot of theory. I could talk the whole stream about this literally one topic. Like, I would literally, this is the only thing we talk about the entire stream. I'm not joking. Literally not joking. Because, like, I'll give you the long and short of my belief, in my thought. Not, like, stationary like the Arecibo. Yeah, it's not stationary like that. Also, RIP. I hope they build a monument or something like that. You say that like it's a problem. It's not a problem. I just don't want to bore anyone. My personal belief, and you guys can argue with me about this, but just know that I'm a scientist, so in the end I am right and you're wrong. But my belief here is that I don't think, if there are intelligent tool-using spacefaring aliens, they don't exist in our galaxy, except us. Or, point two, or space travel is impossible. Those are the two. The third option I would think about is the scary dark forest theory where there's a super predator that will kill us. How and why? I don't think anybody's leery of us or anything like that. I just think that we're probably the first. We're the first, or space travel is like impossible. But my logic behind it is that if there were a species out there that was capable of space flight, then we would see evidence for it, and it would be everywhere. We would see it everywhere, because even think about the last 1,000 years of our technology. Not even 1,000, 100 years of technology. Give us 100 more years, and I genuinely believe that humans could make self-replicating probes that could just go and explore the entire galaxy. And if you mean to tell me that an alien species that is even 100 years more developed than us hasn't already done that, then where are they? What's going on? How come we're not seeing that? Why isn't our moon being mined? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. I sort of agree with Lysak. I think maybe they have exist, but even then, I don't think they've existed. I think that if they existed, they never became spacefaring, or they never took off their planet or something like that, because otherwise, again, we would have seen evidence of it. Because given enough time, they would have colonized the entire galaxy. So, but I don't actually think that humans will destroy themselves. I think that we're basically cockroaches. Hi, Disney 8i. Hi, welcome on in. The Bobaverse series is a cool take on self-replicating probes. That sounds is that a novel? That sounds really interesting. Sounds really good. But yeah, that's my theory behind it, is like, I just think we would see evidence of it. So I sort of, again, there's a whole theory of life origin that I subscribe to, which is why I wanted to go into astrobiology, where like, I think we will find life on Mars. I think we'll find life on like Titan, Europa. I think we'll find like multiple evidences of life in our solar system, but it'll be single cellular and it won't be complicated, or it might not even be single cellular. I think it'll be something, you know what I mean? Something life-like or life-adjacent. But will we find megafauna? Will we find like, you know, cats and dogs and whales and whatever? Those are all mammals, but you know what I mean? Like, will we find like even bugs? Probably not. Because I think that probably unicellular life or small life is probably like literally everywhere that has like excess entropy to release. And then I think that like more complex life, like insects or whatever, or worms or whatever you want to call it, small, like more multicellular life, somewhat common, maybe one every few solar systems, maybe like 1 in 5 solar system, let's call it. But then like once you get down to like, okay, now we want them to be complicated and large and tool making and smart and curious and wanting to leave the solar system and go to space and be exploratory, and all of these things have to happen. I think those chances are like 1 in a quadrillion, kajillion, billion. There's no way. I think we're fairly unique. The reason I think this way is because of how I think that life was started. I talked about this on Aaron's Insect Aaron's stream, but it's this theory about how basically life is, we think about it too much as like we think about it too much from a human standpoint and not from a biochem or like a chemical or entropy standpoint. And if you think about life more just as like systems trying to find the least resistant path to a lowest entropy point, then you find these things, and I know this is mega nerdy, you find that the favorable systems are those that contain those systems. So, i.e., what's the best way to make a reaction go faster? Well, there's 2 ways. You can catalyze it, or you can contain that reaction within a vessel to bring it closer, right? Those are the ways that you can make a rate equation faster, okay? I know this is some advanced stuff. And what does that sound like? Well, that sounds like enzymes, and it sounds like cells, right? So all of a sudden, that's why life happened. It's because it was biochemically favorable for that to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Great Filter is very interesting. I think humans are past the Great Filter personally, and that's why I think that like we probably will just go on to expand into the galaxy forever. But like that's the basis of my biogenesis theory. But then there's a bunch of consequences that come out of that, such as that means that life ought to be literally everywhere that there's excess entropy happening. If there's chemical reactions happening on a planet, i.e., there's water, for example, and there's just like excess energy, the sun, then you will have chemical reactions that have to find a way through chemical equilibrium balance, right? And therefore, they will try to find a way to contain themselves or catalyze themselves, ergo enzymes or cells. Therefore, life is ubiquitous, and we'll find it everywhere, but will those cells turn into larger organisms? I don't know. That's a very difficult question for me to answer. I am convinced that we won't obliterate ourselves because I think that life is very, like, resistant to that. I think that, this theory lends itself to sort of saying that it's like life will protect itself or it will self-preserve, but I don't know. That's sort of a personal political worldview sort of thing. I don't know. Yeah, Raiden, that's the thing is that I get this is literally my whole thing. If I could do anything for work, like my dream job it would be to do this study for work. Like, that would be my dream job. So the Cambrian explosion is Earth only. I think that, like, I think Earth is in a perfect situation, and I think it's weird to say otherwise. Make me blush. Hang on. Blush. Nah. Want to ask why we can get tanned under the sun and why some people can recover from a tanning by avoid exposure to the sun? Well, it's because your body, it's an entropy thing, right? So your body is reacting to the presence of UV rays. So, right, like what happens is that your skin detects it, right? Because it's detecting an amount of DNA damage, right? When you are exposed to UV lights, like the sun, your skin detects that and it feels the burn, right? And it reacts to that by activating the genes that express a protein called melanin. And then melatonin? Not melanin, melatonin. And that makes the skin darker. And that darkness absorbs the UV rays and protects the DNA from damage. But when you are removed from that, the body, basically the tan going away is actually your body degrading those proteins and reverting to your normal state of expression of that protein. Is melanin correct? Yeah, melanin. I get those mixed up all the time. Oh my God, it's so bad. In my head, I'm like melatonin because it's tone, right? And I don't know. I get so weird. I get so confused about that. Show me your beans. You gotta redeem that. That's not free. But yeah, I get those confused like very, very often. But yeah, I think intelligent life is something that fairly uncommon. I think that like single cellular life, probably everywhere. Somewhat complicated life, pretty common. And then once you get to like android otters, you know, probably not happening pretty much anywhere. I'm like Hall of Fame certified baby. Well, thank you. You can easily remember melatonin by like likening it to serotonin. Easy is a strong way to put that. I've always been bad at like memorization, which is why I never went to med school. Med school was always very difficult for me. Like the memorization stuff, like all the best stuff, the stuff I was always best at for school and whatever, was, I'm just gonna move my microphone a little bit further away from my mouth here, because I think I'm clipping a bit. There we go. Let me know if that sounds a little too far. I don't think so. I was always really good at like stuff where you're applying your knowledge or how you think about things. So like problem solving. But if it came to anything that had to do with like memorize this list, I'm like, oh God, I can't do it. I'm so bad at it. Yeah, med school is just learning names for 3 years. It's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Hi, Hiding Bat. Hi. Yeah, I actually, do you guys know, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. In high school, I actually almost flunked chemistry. I actually almost failed out of chemistry because there was a lot of memorization aspects to it, and I didn't have a great teacher for grade 11 or grade 10 or something like that. And I was confused by it. And also I didn't want to do it because I have ADHD and I was a depressed teenager and didn't want to do it, basically. But I really sucked at English class and history. Specifically history. History was like the worst for me. Oh my God. History was like it was my Achilles heel. I actually ended up in remedial social studies, which is what we call history in Canada, because I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, I can't bring myself to give a crap. I just couldn't do it. I was like, they're like, so-and-so declared war on who's-he what's-it in 19 whatever. And I'm like, girl, I don't care. I just don't care. Yeah, it doesn't click for me. I can't do it. It's so hard. But when it came to things that like, it was like, hey, here's how the world works, and this is why this works, right? And here's how you can apply these concepts to solving other problems like biology or chemistry or math. I was like, hell yeah, this is what I'm into. You know what I mean? It's nutty. I can't do that at all. You had one good history teacher one year. Yeah, so similar. I had one good, like, English teacher, And up until grade 12, literally grade 12, I was like, English is the worst. I don't understand why they want me to read these stupid books about nothing, about animals declaring communism or whatever the hell. I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't know why we're doing this. And so, like, I just didn't care. I didn't do any of the work. I never read the books. I hated it. And then finally in like grade 12, I had this one teacher that actually taught me like a lot better and seemed to really care about the subject matter. And then I got it for that one class, and I got like a B or something like that. That was the only time in English I was ever like, oh, this is interesting. You're teaching me like how to read and understand the material in a way that like makes sense. And every other English teacher was just like, here's the book. Here is a list of the reasons I'm supposed to teach you the book. Here are the points you're supposed to get out of the book. How are you supposed to come to those points? I don't know. Just figure it out, basically. And I hated that crap. So stupid. Physics hurts you? So actually, I never took physics in high school. I had to take it for university later on, which I had the best physics teacher. Oh my God, my physics teacher in university was so great. I don't remember his name anymore, but he was so funny. I don't know what it is about physics in university, but physics departments in university have the best professors. Is this universal to every university? I think it is, because like genuinely, it feels like the first year physics professors. I don't know what physics people are doing, what they put in the water, but they have the funniest professors. They love to do like the stupid experiments in front of the class that just break stuff all the time. Like they're like, oh, let's pour this water into this jug and we'll see what happens. And oh, see, that's laminar flow, and then it explodes or whatever. It's so great. But I didn't take it in high school because I was scared of physics, because I was like, oh, this seems so hard. It's so much math. But after I actually learned how to do physics, like in university, I loved physics after that. So after that, I was like, oh, it's great. I love physics at that point. In fact, if in another world, I could have been an astrophysicist, probably. Yeah, in university, honestly, physics was probably one of my favorite classes. Stop being such a cutie? No, never. Why VR Otter? I don't know, I want to have fun. I've always wanted to do a stream like this where we just hang out and chat, you know? I might bounce around some worlds. I just picked this place because I like the lighting. It's like my colors. Like, and all the pillows and stuff are my colors or whatever, see? Like, and all the lighting is all my colors. It just fits my vibe, you know what I mean? All these over here, these pillows are all my colors. Yeah, we're doing 3D Otter today. Doing experiments and breaking stuff sounds like every day. Yeah, I mean, I really like physics. Engineering is very much like that too. If you really like tinkering with stuff, engineering is a great field to go into. There's so many different fields that I think I could have gone into, but I just didn't, just because like there's not enough time. But if I could go back and like learn all these different things like engineering, physics, astronomy, hard like physical chemistry, honestly, any of these fields, I would have loved to. Vince Wolf, welcome to the Glam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome, welcome. Hey, how's it going? English is the worst subject. I don't disagree, although I do think history is probably worse for me. But I always found English very superfluous. Although, to be honest, there's definitely something to be said for like me just sort of not getting it, and like it's just that it didn't work for my brain. Because like I definitely, once I got to, like I said, I had that English teacher that taught me like how to do it. I definitely thought it was much more interesting at that point, but it did take that long to get there. Geography was most boring. Ironically, I'm kind of good at geography now just because I played so much Europa Universalis. You need to get really deep into it before it gets interesting. Like what, history or social studies or English? Because I don't know how deep I would need to get into English for it to be interesting. I'm not sure. Geography? I think you would have to tie that into like geopolitical stuff for it to be interesting to me. Or something. You had teachers that didn't understand you. Oh, big facts. That's definitely the truth. As a kid, well, I mean, like, I don't think they understand kids that are different than just neurotypical kids. Having ADHD and being a weirdo, and being like neurodivergent or anything like that. I don't think my teachers understood me at all, and I just got that gifted but not trying hard enough vibe thing going on. That's history. Yeah, well, kinda. I don't know. I like they said, I think I just had the wrong teachers, to be honest, because I never found a way for it to be like interesting to me. But then again, maybe I was just unmedicated and depressed. There's probably a lot of that. Dead Draco, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I don't know. As someone who studying to become an engineer and do that hobby involves a lot, it can be a fun field if you like to do that stuff. Yeah, and there was a time when I was there too, yeah. Gifted but lazy is definitely where I was at. That was the big time. That was what I was labeled as. Gifted but lazy and weird. And like socially weird. Just could not get along with anyone, basically. Yeah, I would call myself depressed at the time. I'm not that anymore. I'm actually really happy about my life. I've talked about this before, so. But yeah, my life is like going really well. I gotta get real far back here for you guys to see my rudder. Oh, I can actually grab all these pillows over here, too. Tail. You like writing, but English is pretty much just writing political opinions, which I guess is important, but I'd rather write on fancy stuff. So, part of what I didn't like about English class was, like, they were so focused on not non-fiction, but like fiction that was so real world impactful or whatever, and never about something that was fun to read, right? Like, sure, I'm sure somebody has fun reading To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever, but I don't understand like who those people are. You know what I mean? I do not understand that. I like reading, you know, what's that one? Fire Upon the Deep. Or like, I mean, I know they're problematic, but like Ender's Game or Hunger Games or whatever, things like that. Like, I like exciting sci-fi novels and like fantasy, and I like, to me, reading is an escapism. Yeah, Fire Upon the Deep is so good. That's like me and one of my best friends' favorites. Oh my gosh, it was so good. You want to play rock, paper, scissors? Are you ready, Fox Paws? You want to play rock, paper, scissors? You gotta tell me when you're okay. Rock, paper, scissors. I chose rock this time. You'll never guess. You'll never defeat me. I win. Got him. But yeah, like I wish that like just once a year they would have taught me to read something fun or told me to read something fun. You know what I mean? But like, it's not that I hate reading stuff that's more philosophical. That I can be into a mood for that. But like, it would have also been fun to have read fantasy novels, and then in those fantasy novels been able to say, hey, okay, so you enjoyed reading this book, right? And then I'm like, yeah, I loved reading this book. And then we'd be like, oh, well, what if I told you that you can draw themes about this into reality, and that, like, you know, through these themes, the author was really trying to talk about these things in reality and how they can compare, and where, like, maybe this is a warning towards the future. So, for example, if you ever read, like, Ender's Game, you could have taught like, oh, yeah, this is a reflection on society about how they're treating kids or whatever. You know what I mean? Something. Connor Blazer Wolf, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. That's my thing. Like, there's one book in English class that I ever had to read that I was like, I still like today, which was The Giver. That novel was really good. Really, really do. Really love that one. But yeah, Fire Upon the Deep, easily one of my favorite novels ever. There's a big mosquito in your room. Let it out. Yeah, The Giver was really good. Did you guys know that it's a whole series? It's not just one book. It turns out that it's more than one book. I had no idea. I had no idea that it was until literally I was like in my 20s when I learned that it was a novel series. I had no idea. I just thought it was the one book and that they got out of the village and then that was it. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, damn, that was so intense. Unironically, I read Ender's Game and the 2 sequel novels, and then I read Ender's Shadow and the 2 sequel novels, and then I read another of the sequels. Ender's Shadow is way better than Ender's Game. Genuinely. Beans. There's the goods for you right there. I do really like dystopian literature. I know. I'm so guilty of it. I am so guilty of reading young adult dystopian literature. I am such a sucker for two things. I like, genuinely, listen, I know you're going to call me like a 14-year-old little girl. I love a Hunger Games clone. I love it. I love it so much. I can't stand, I literally can't stop reading them. It's insane. I read a book called, what the hell was it called? It was called like the something. It was like, it was basically the Hunger Games, but it was basically like a reality TV show version of like The Bachelor in a dystopian future where a prince is trying to find a bride. And then there was like 30 princess people that they brought from like poor people and middle class and upper class. And then they like, it was so stupid, but like it was, I couldn't stop reading it. I can't. You read Ender's Game for Physics 1? What? That's crazy. What is Name of the Wind? I would love if you guys have book recommendations in the Discord, please put them in the literature chat, because I am constantly on the lookout for more books that are like Hunger Games or dystopian literature and stuff like that, because I can't get it. I can't get enough of them. I love a stupid teenage love story. I can't get enough of it, and I love dystopia. Love it. I can't. If you haven't read it, don't. Why? Is it like Ayn Rand? The Princess Trials? No. I think it was something else. I think it has like a picture of a shoe on the front or something. I'm not sure. Don't start it until they release the third book. Is this like a Game of Thrones situation? You don't remember how Ender's Game happened? Ender's Game, or what happened in the book, it's basically like you were the monsters, essentially, was at the end. You're getting rocked by House of Leaves. The story is about broken people revolving around the story of a fricked up house. I've heard 14 Days Till Survivor 42, and the cast doesn't seem like it's us. I think Survivor 42 is going to look really good, but I mean, I thought that about 41 too. The Selection, that's it. It's The Selection. You got it. That's it. And I liked it. I liked that. I liked The Test, or The Testing, or something like that. I liked The Hunger Games. There was another one that was not so good, but yeah. Rothfuss has been a bit slow to continue this series. It's amazing, but the wait has been long. I mean, like, I still want more books to read. Otherwise, I'm just going to go read more Spider-Man, because I love Spider-Man. But yeah, like, I like, if there's more books like that, I actually literally for a little while just went out there and I was like, Hunger Game clones. And I just read as many Hunger Game clones as I could. However, what's that one that they made a movie out of that sucks? It's like the... Maybe it's not the it's like Deviant or something like that. I think it's Deviant or Insurgent or something like that. Anyway, it was terrible. It was like Insurgents or something like that. Divergent, that's it. That book is garbage. Oh my god. The first book was okay. There's this one scene in it which they completely screwed up in the movie. That was like really, really cute and like romantic, where like the main character and like her boyfriend or whatever, they like climb to the top of this Ferris wheel in like over like the shores of Chicago or whatever, and they're like, it's at night and it's like they're up there and like he's scared of heights, and then she like pushes him on, and then they get up there and then it's like all moonlit and everything like that, and they have like an open conversation about their fears, and it's like really cute. It's like this really good scene in the book, and then in the movie it's just like 5 seconds and it's over. It's so stupid. It's like the only good thing in the book. And then I tried to read the second book like 8 times and I can't. The first novel is just terrible. The first chapter is just terrible. Would it down be superheroes who are actually villains in dystopia? That sounds sick. It sounds a lot like The Boys on Amazon, but as a young adult dystopian novel, I'm super down for that. That sounds fun, actually. I'd be down for that. 10 years later, and he refuses to discuss Door of Stone. He sold the first book on a claim that the other 2 were already ready for release, and he'd be putting them up annually. Oh, and it's been 10 years since they released the second book? That's crazy. Yeah, The Boys, the show was insane. I did read Lord of the Flies. Actually, that is another book that I did read as a kid that I did enjoy. Not as much as The Giver. But it is really good still. I still did really enjoy it. Again, that dystopian, like, oh, everything's all fricked sort of vibe. I love it. My one issue with the young adult dystopian thing is always that it's always a 3-part novel or whatever, and all I want to read is the part where everybody's in danger. Because it always ends up being like, oh no, we're 16 and the world is in danger. Oh, I have a boyfriend crush. Yeah, okay, great. This is all good. Love this stuff. And then it ends up being like, okay, now we're going to take down the government and save the world. I'm like, no, I don't need any of that stuff. Get that out of here. That stuff is boring. Just be in this game where you all kill each other. That's fun. I like that part. Like, it's the dangerous, tense part that I like. And as soon as they're like, oh, let's fight the government, it's so boring. That stuff sucks. The Hunger Games, weirdly enough, did not start that. They did not start that. It did work for them, and it's just the most well-known example. But yeah, every third movie is a 2-parter and whatever, yeah. It's just a trend in young adult fiction, I think. I wouldn't even mind if, like, there was bad endings, to be honest. I like bad endings in books and media in general. I don't think there's enough bad endings in media. You didn't enjoy Lord of the Flies, but it's because you feel teachers overanalyze and put meaning in every single word. That's the stuff I hated about English class. I'm like, why does everything have to have a meaning? Just let me read the book. Like, you can pull a few things out. That's fine. Don't make me overanalyze everything. I don't care. I don't want to read about how so-and-so's name is this person's name because whatever. Get that out of here. Boring. I've actually never watched Shawshank. Yeah, exactly. I need a Hunger Games clone where Act 3 is a government victory. It's a lot like, I really hated Fallout 3 because, like, no matter what you did, you were the hero. You always were the victory. You always took down the Enclave and won and whatever. And I'm like, no, screw that. I want an ending where we join the Enclave and we wipe everybody out and become, like, trillionaires or whatever. And I'm like, where's that ending at? Nai Nayuri, welcome on in. Welcome to the Clan Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome. You feel that way, but do the exact same thing with your TV shows. Yeah, like, I want more tension in my stuff. You know what I mean? Kingdom Keepers. So what is Kingdom Keepers about? Yeah, the overanalyzing stuff, like, it kills me. I hate it. Your mounting hardware for your index base station is MI. Oh, that's no good. You're just gonna have to drill it into the wall. But yeah, I need Hunger Games clones where, like, genuinely give me an adult Hunger Games clone where, like, it's like 900 pages thick and it's just dense as hell, and, like, the actual Hunger Games part of it is, like, literally 500 pages long and it's just miserable. I want that. Give me that. Thank you so much, Vince Wolf. I appreciate that. Jesse Gamer, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. Yo, Gunner, hi. Welcome on in. Here's your free beans. Beans. Oh, I turned. How's it going? Welcome on in, Raiders. Hi. I feel like it has to exist, but I don't think I've ever read anything on it. I don't think it exists, to be honest. I don't think anybody's read that or written that because I feel like it would be so good. Okay, can I get those Gunner smiles in chat? Where's my Gunner smiles? I need that emote. My evening's going really good. Hi, Fuma. Beans and screens. Do I run on Wi-Fi? This Wi-Fi? Something like that. There's that Gunner smile. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I really want, like, because my favorite part of the Hunger Games, right, is the part where they're in danger and in the games. And I want, like, an hour-by-hour retelling of everything that's happened in the game. Because I'm like, it doesn't even need to have a bad ending, but, like, give me more of that. Because, like, my finger's broken. All that, to me, that's the meat. That's the meat, man. It's like the part where they're outside the game. Like, it's like a sandwich, right? They're outside the game, and then outside the game, inside the game, that's the meat. That's the best part. You know what I mean? Is there a good ending and a bad ending? Probably in at least some Choose Your Adventures. 16s who at night get sent to the Disney parks, and there are holograms to stop the Disney villains from taking over the Disney parks, turning the parks from good to evil. Is this the story of Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, like, exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I want it to be, like, well, not cold, because, like, I really do like the stupid romance stuff. Like, I love a romantic thing. I know it's trashy. Like, you know, I like a story that is very cute and romantic and like about these characters falling in love in a desperate time. Totally love it. And I know it's like liking a blockbuster movie, right? You're like, oh yes, I know it's a trashy movie. I know it's a Marvel stupid superhero movie, but I still want to watch it. Sort of how I feel. Can we get a fake live stream miniseries, like a 48-hour Hunger Games? I've had this idea. Pseudo live stream thing, short stream. I see. That's what I'm saying. I think that'd be cool. I've had this idea where you take your friends and like you go on a vacation, right? But I think you'd need very specific friends, and VR Hunger Games totally would work. But I think VR Survivor would be better. This is my idea, not Hunger Games, but you do it as Survivor. You go on a vacation. Say you take like 12 of your friends, okay? Or whatever. You take like 12 of your friends and you go on a 7-day vacation, right? To a cabin or on a resort or whatever. And every day you have a challenge that day. And then at the end of the day, around the campfire, you vote someone out of the game. And then they're in the jury. And at the end of the week, you declare the winner, right? Like you have the votes or whatever, and you do the winner, and you're there for like a week. I think it would be so cool, but you need friends that wouldn't get butthurt about losing a game. That's my problem. Every time I propose this to my friends, they're like, "Oh no, we can't do that. We won't be friends anymore." I'm like, "Come on, dude. I want to play a game. It would be so fun." That elimination sucks. Yeah, okay, but like. There's got to be a way to come up with that, like a way to keep them in the game, but they're not in the game anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're still there, they can talk to people or whatever. They're still there, they're hanging out or whatever. Like you can still be. There's got to be a way to involve you in the game still, but you aren't up to win or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like Ghosts in Trivia Murder Party. Exactly. There's got to be a way to do it. I just don't know how. Germa's Battle Royale house. Does Germa do that? Can we get a furry streamer to do that? What if we did that? Yeah, what if they had ways of influencing the game where like they can set traps or something, or they can put purposeful misinformation out there, and maybe they're incentivized to do so, right? Maybe the people that are eliminated get like secret powers that they can use to like screw people over in the game, right? So they're still in the game, but they can be like, oh, well, you betrayed me, so I'm gonna put this trap on that player, and then like they still get to be in there. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. Yeah, like the dead people can influence games like in the Hunger Games. I think that would be very cool. I just think that would be very cool. Yeah, I think it would be tense fun, but like you have to have the right. You got to have the right players. So we're dancing a little bit. We got to dance a little bit. I think you'd have to have the right players, because otherwise you have to have people that won't take so seriously. I could blep. I gotta find the toggle for blep. There it is. Nah. I'll just leave my tongue out like this for a little bit. But yeah, I think you'd have to have the right friends for it, but I think it would be so fun. Just because, like, I think the game would be, like, so intense, and, like, I admit I'd be a little butthurt if I did get, like, eliminated very early, because I would want to play so bad, right? But I don't know. I still think it would be really fun. There is a TV series called Sequester, where it's kind of like that, where they spend, like, a week in a house, and they have a bunch of games that they do together, and, but those get very intense, because they are not friends. They win a chocolate-shaped bat. Total Drama Island / Rough Ruffman. Is that like Total Drama Island, like the video, like the cartoon? You mean? You could design it without the elimination and still be very intense. There's probably a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I just don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm not a game designer. I'm more of like the person. I am the kind of person that loves game theory, and like I will break apart a game and try to figure out exactly how to win it. That's why I'm so much fun at board game night. There's Risk-like games that don't have elimination. Oh, you want to blush too? Hang on, I gotta figure out how to do that. Can I blush at the same time? can. Yeah, I miss board games too. I was fun. No one else was competitive like you. That's the thing is like I kind of play games to win, but I'm not like I mean I don't think so. I'm not. I can get really over competitive. My husband is probably staring at me laughing, but like I am competitive. But I don't really. How do I put this? Like I don't want to get mad about it if I lose, but I don't know. I like to play games and I like to learn how to be like figure out what like the most optimal way to play it is. Does that make sense? I don't know. Root is pretty fun as a fun asymmetric war game. Dude, I miss board game nights in general. Please dance. I mean, we did dance. You didn't pay for another dance. Root is complex and has a furry theme. I mean, I miss board game nights in general. I have a couple friends locally in Seattle that do want to play board games, and I want to play board games with them more often, but we haven't. I mean, we started doing it, and we were playing Battlestar Galactica, which I love. Especially with now the way it works is like you get eliminated, but then you just pick another character card, which is awesome. I ruined you in Catan. Yeah, because like again, I play games to win, and so like I literally figure out what the strategy is, and then I play to win. Eliminating one person early is a strategy. How friendship is ruined by Monopoly. Yeah, I don't think Monopoly is a super good game, unfortunately. I don't think it's it's one of those games where it's just sort of random chance, and then if you I'm sure there's a strategy behind it, but I hate that game. I don't think it's very fun. There was actually I have a really funny story about me and board games and stuff like that my husband is not a big fan of. My friends and my husband were playing this game called Bull Pit or something, and it's like a stock market trading game where you're supposed to corner the market by trading cards, and you're like, oh, does anybody have any of this? And I'll trade this and this and this and whatever, something like that. Jennifer Lopez TV, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for sewing on by. Welcome. And so in this game, the goal is to get all of one card. It's like Mahjong, basically, right? And so what I realized is because I hated this game because it was very noisy and it's just people yelling at each other. And so it messed up with my sensory perception because I felt like I couldn't understand everything was happening because my ADHD gives me auditory processing problems. And so everybody's screaming at each other. I was like, okay, I hate this game. And so what I did is I figured out how to break the game. I figured out how to break it. And so I figured out that if I get one of every single resource and then I never trade any of them. Yeah, somebody redeemed a blep. That's why my tongue is floppy. Although that did expire. So if I get one of every resource and never trade them and refuse to make trades, I just don't see anything for the rest of the game, then no one ever wins and the round just never ends. And so and everybody, I just got one of everything and stopped talking. And then people were yelling to trade. And then they realized that wait, how has nobody won yet? And then it took them a few minutes to figure out that I had broke the game. and then they all just looked at me and they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, I don't want to play. But yeah, I think I love board games and stuff like that. Tabletop RPGs and stuff like that. I really miss that. I miss that a lot. But yeah, that game made me feel very anxious just with how much people were yelling and whatever. Your husband hates board games, but he'll play card games and video games, so I know the feeling of not wanting to play board games. It's not that. It's I want to play board games, and I want people to play with it. It's just I don't want to play board games where everybody's just yelling at each other. One of my favorite board games styles are these betrayer games, which is why I like Survivor, and probably why I like these Hunger Games and stuff books, because there's so much game in them that I get to think about while these human interactions are happening, right? I said I like Hunger Games, right? And I'm one of the reasons I loved Hunger Games so much was that it had like this gamification of the main characters, and they were like navigating this like dangerous game and like also doing this human, I don't know, it was so good. Yeah, Haunted Hill is like one of my favorites as well. I love that one. Although it's a little RNG, sometimes I like, one of the things I fall into for that game is the Haunted Hill game is that I just want to spend so much time powering up and getting my character super strong. And then the game just flips to the betrayer mode and I'm like, but I was having fun exploring. I just want to find more random stuff. You know what I mean? And then I run into that. Have I played Phase 10? I think I have. Yo, Ty, hi. Ty, hello. Welcome on in, Raiders. Hello, welcome in. Look, it's your spot. You were just here like 2 hours ago. How's it going? Raiders, hi, I'm Sync. I'm a variety streamer. We stream on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Right now we're playing VR Chat. And on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be playing Elden Ring, just like literally every other streamer. I'm also a biochemist in real life, and sometimes we break things down scientifically. If that sounds interesting to you, feel free to hit the follow button. But thanks for swinging on by. Thank you. Me and Among Us just wanting to do the tasks. Yeah, like, I will say I am a gremlin in Among Us, and I do things in Among Us. I don't play Among Us anymore. I don't want to play that game anymore. I played it so much. But I used to just do things where I would intentionally throw because I just wanted to cause chaos. Because I'm like, here's the thing. One of the strategies in Among Us, right, in these betrayer games, is that even if you're innocent, sometimes it's good to cause chaos to make it confusing about who anybody is or what their motivations are, because if you do that, then and you are known to be a player that intentionally obscures what you're doing. That means that in rounds where you are the betrayer, people are less likely to think you're the betrayer because you intentionally throw more often. And so you have better betrayer rounds, but you have less good people rounds. Yeah. Do I look lighter, for lack of a better word? Oh no, my tongue. Oh no. I forget what I'm doing. There it is. Found it. You don't play Among Us either, getting a sussy murder feeling in Murder 4 on VRC. I've actually never played that. We should play that. Ty, we should play Murder 4. Do I sound lighter? Do I sound lighter? I get very airy and happy when I'm talking in VR chat, so you're probably getting that. I don't know why, but whenever I stream in VR and do this, I'm always like very happy and bouncy. It's very funny. Just kind of a thing. But yeah, that's how I play betrayer games, is that I intentionally act sus, and no matter, even if I'm a good guy or a bad guy, I always act sus. Always. It's almost like enjoy being a small otter. What do you mean? I'm huge. Look at me. I'm so big. I'm the size of these cushions. Same size. These cushions just must be massive. Power Love Zero, welcome to Clam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome. The lighter might be mic distance. The mic distance is a little bit far away, but I keep it like out a little further away. Hopefully it sounds okay. As far as I can tell, the audio levels look okay. But I do keep it a little further away from my face because I noticed with this mic, I blow it out really easy. So I try to keep it further away and like up away from my mouth. Murder 4 is pretty fun. The downside is there's a lot of toxic people. That's the thing, is that I really love these betrayer style games. But the betrayer style games, like I said, it's just like when I talked about when I wanted to play like Survivor with my friends. You have to play with the right people, because if you play those betrayer games with people that get really butthurt really easy, then they get butthurt. And even if you're like, dude, I was just playing the game, right? They still get really annoyed with it. When you play a game as 100% good crew, being happy doing tasks, then other members get shocked when you're an imposter. That is true. I mean, there's different strategies to it, right? But just my strategy is always to be a little bit suspicious, which I think is fun, because then you can get away with more when you are the betrayer, right? You can just do stuff that just seems a little weird, which I think is more fun. And if you're just like, oh, I'm just doing my tasks, I think that gets a little repetitive. You're just always too goody two shoes, which is no fun for me personally. I like the chaos. But I mean, I'm an otter. What otter doesn't like chaos? What mic do I use? Right now, I use a mod mic because the default mic on the HTC Pro Vive 2, is that how that's said? Vive Pro 2 is hot garbage. It is hot garbage. And so I have the mod mic, which isn't a lot better, but it's at least okay. I've thought about getting another one, but like these lavalier mics cost like $600, and I'm like, girl, I can't afford $600 on VR streams. You can understand someone getting butthurt if they have a completely trash evening with 0 wins, but quickly being picked off. I could get that, yeah, but like that's due to your strategy, right? Like if your strategy is to always be like try to be good and then you lose, it's like, well, you're not really playing the game. You know what I mean? Hi, Silver Eagle. Hi, welcome. Violet Duval. Hello. Welcome, first time chatters. Hello. But yeah, I'm actually, it's funny what you say, Fairblood. I'm actually really competitive in those games. I really want to win. I try very hard to win. Like I am very much trying to win. But I don't feel like I'm toxic about it. And I don't get angry if I don't win. You know what I mean? It's all part of the chaos. Like I just want to cause chaos. Sometimes I'll just say stuff and do stuff intentionally just to like make chaos. Just to see what happens. Whenever I play Battlestar Galactica, though, do you know what? I've never been a Cylon in Battlestar Galactica, even once. Not even once. Like, I've played that game, like, probably, like, 20 times, and I've literally never been a Cylon. It makes me so mad. I want to be a Cylon so bad. Chaos! There's actually a clip. There's this hilarious... Okay, I've done some wild stuff, but, like, there's a clip of me being a Joker when I was playing with, like, with Majira and stuff. I did a Joker. We were playing with the mods where you get to be a Joker in Among Us, and because I already caused chaos, everybody believed I was chaos, and then I just started throwing shade everywhere, and everybody's like, okay, this person's sus as hell, and they threw me out the airlock, and I won. It was so funny. I think it's Joker? Jester? I don't know. It's the one that if you get thrown out, you win. It was so funny. Oh, that's very close. A clumsy aquamarine weasel. You almost just cost me 10 gifted subs. Jester's the one that wins for being ejected. So yeah, Jester run. Dramatic Adagio? Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for sitting on by. Welcome, welcome. A clumsy aquamarine weasel is scary close. Very, very scary close to a sink. That is very, very close. But yeah. Yeah. Hello, fellow NB. Hi. Welcome in. We love an NB. We love that here. A dull silver elk. But yeah, like, those are my favorite types of games. I have another type of... A lot of people don't like playing Battlestar Galactica with me because it's like a 4-hour game. To be fair, it's only that long if you don't know what you're doing. I think the problem is that people play it once and they're like, oh, it was so long. And I'm like, well, you didn't know what you're doing. Just do something. And I don't like when people get too bogged down in the optimum strategy their first time playing the game. Because what ends up happening is that they're like, oh, I have to do the optimum strategy. And I'm like, don't worry about that. Just play the game. Just play. Just do whatever. It doesn't matter. Because, like, people are like, oh, well, what should I do? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Go fix the engines. Go shoot some... Doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to appear suspicious. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. just play the game. And then they get all bogged down in that. And then the game starts lasting forever kind of thing. All right, Sam, have a great rest of your night. Thanks for coming by. Where, like, I tell people, and I've played it with people that know what they're doing, and it's like, it ends up being like a 2-hour game, you know? 2 hours for a Betrayer game like Battlestar Galactica is not that big a deal. It can be a slog. It can, if you let it be. But it doesn't have to be. A 4-hour game sounds like the opening to Stellaris. That sounds like about the amount of time it takes to get from, like, the opening Stellaris launcher to meeting your first civilization. That's about how long that takes, I think. Dude, I love Stellaris. What a great game. My last game of Stellaris, I got wicked far on the tech tree, like ahead of everybody, and then I stumbled over an anomaly, and then I was like, oh, what's this? And I was like, well, I have the technology. I'm just going to study this anomaly. And then they're like, oh, it's like a wormhole. We think that will allow us to open up access to the other side of space, to give you more territory to expand to and whatnot. And I was like, cool, let's do that. And so I did it, and I opened up the wormhole, and then out of it came the gray goo. And then everybody in the galaxy died. I was the only one that managed to like survive. I was like managing to fight them off a little bit because I had the best technology in this galaxy, right? And then eventually I was able to fight them off, but by the time I fought them off, literally everybody in the galaxy was dead, and I was like, whoops. Yeah. It was pretty funny. I haven't played since like the second expansion, or it's been a long time, but yeah. I love, one of the things I love about Stellaris so much is like the random events or whatever, because you get these random events that can happen, just random stuff, and it makes it feel very alive. I love it. They added aquatics. Can I be an otter? Can I be an otter? What's going on in here? It's the beach. We're at the beach. I want to be an otter. That sounds sick. It's a free galaxy to colonize. I mean, apparently they locked this gray goo behind like this thing so they couldn't teleport anywhere, and then I unlocked them and I doomed the entire universe or whatever. I don't know. Yo, Zav, thank you for the 12 months in the Clam Club VIP Lounge. Welcome back to the Clam Club VIP Lounge where the Wi-Fi is always clean. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Your boyfriend plays a ton of Stellaris, but he's tried to explain it, but it sounds like so much. It's a lot like, it's like playing Civilization, but like way deeper, basically. Azro, hi, welcome in, hi. Roll that bean footage. Oh, I forgot to give the beans. You know what, actually, since I forgot to give the beans to Tigers Raiders, I actually do owe bonus better beans. So that means 4 beans at once.
Azrado King, roll that beautiful bean footage, Azrado King.
Azro, thank you for the 10 months in the Clam Club VIP Lounge. Welcome back to the Clam Club VIP Lounge where the Wi-Fi is always clean. Let me get you your beans. I owe double beans, so let's do the double beans. Beans. The double beans. What were you playing? Oh, Disco Elysium looks super good, actually. Yeah, it's a grand strategy game. That's the thing about grand strategy games, is that there's like an insane amount to look at. You don't have to play perfectly to play a grand strategy game, but if you do break the game. So many beans. Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I was watching... Who was I watching play it? Explain quarks and gluons the way a 14-year-old understands. There are other forces in the universe other than gravity. There is the strong and weak nuclear force. Nady Beak, that's what it was. I was watching Nady Beak. Strong and weak nuclear force and gravity and electromagnetics. Gluons and quarks are the stuff inside of an atom that make those things happen. Mahjong can be a cool game if there's a lot of small rules. I don't understand Mahjong, but I love watching it be played. Have I played Europa Universalis? Oh, yes. Like, too much, actually. I actually prefer Crusader Kings 3 to Europa Universalis, but I have played a lot of that. I prefer stuff that's like more generational, and if I was gonna play like a grand strategy that's more country based, I'd prefer Stellaris. I think Europa Universalis is really good, but as far as like an on-Earth simulator, I really like Crusader Kings 3 because I love the chaos of Incest Simulator. It's so funny. You'll teach me Mahjong? I mean, we could do that. All I know is that you're trying to make hands and like with the bricks or something. I don't really know how it works. I had another streamer that raided me like a million years ago when I was playing Celeste. That is a Mahjong streamer, partnered streamer. Yeah, it's Incest Simulator. We call it Incest Simulator because like your characters, it's a medieval time simulator basically. It's like a dynasty simulator more than like a geography simulator. Yeah, it's Crusader Kings. So it's about your dynasty, and so what you're really trying to do is like make your bloodline control as much land as possible or whatever. And so you're often marrying your sister to your cousin in order to like create bloodline ties to some land so that you can make a claim and whatever. It's crazy. That game gets absolutely wild. Yeah, it's all about like your royal dynasty and all that stuff. It's crazy. It's so funny because like you have to watch it be played. It's very good. Because sometimes like you get into these crazy scenarios where you're like, hold on, why do I have a claim on the King of England? And then you like look and it's like, oh, I married my daughter off to some random person in Mercia like 200 years ago, and now their son's now is the Prince of England. And for some reason, and then you're like, so anyway, I declared war on the King of England. It's crazy. Or then someone dies and all of a sudden you're the emperor of whatever. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You've never played Clash Royale and you're getting crazy about all those memes. You played multiplayer one time and your friends slept with 3 of our wives and had bastard kids. See, that's so funny though. Like with the new Crusader Kings, you can have focuses in your life where like you try to like, there's certain things that you're trying to accomplish, and one of them is like just having as many lovers as possible. And so you can like literally just kind of sleep with everybody and cause chaos. It's so funny. It's so funny. I've had some crazy stuff happen in that game. It'll be hard to get 3 of me to sit down for 3 to 4 hours. During the day, maybe not. At night, probably. During the day, maybe. But I do want to spend time with everybody at TFF. Who's going to TFF? I don't even know everybody that's going to TFF. I know Techie and Zav. All my mods are going. Yeah, Zav and Rashek are going. Harmonica, you're heading out. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming by. Clash of Clans at XL. I don't even know what this game is. Is this the mobile game Clash of Clans? That one that like is on all the TV stuff? You should bring your bang game to TFF. Is that like a bang game or like a bang game? Knowing you, Techie, I'm not sure. I've never played Mahjong at all. Like I said, I've only watched other ones. I've only watched it. I watched Dumb Dog play it, and I watched another streamer play it. Yeah, it's a furry con, so it could be both. That's what I'm saying. It could be either. You know, you never know. It could be either. You know? But yeah, I am really excited for TFF. I know that... Oh no, it's this horny song again. No, why? Why every time? There we go. Why are we getting this song again? Did we not load enough songs? Load more songs. Play this song. There you go. Play some new music. I'm really excited for TFF. I know Slushy and Ty are going, which I'm super excited for, because I have been hanging out with Ty and Slushy online for like a year. We joined a stream crew with Slushy and Ty. I love them to pieces. I want to hang out with them forever at that con. I know like my mods are coming, Zav and Lysic, and Foxpaws is coming. It's going to be the first time that all the mods are going to be in one spot. Super going to be fun. You jelly of Slushy. I'm so excited to hang out with Slushy. So excited. I know the mods are coming. I know a couple other clam clubbers are coming. I don't know how many other people are coming. I don't know. I'm rooming with some of my best friends. They're 2 of my friends that we're going to go on a cruise with this summer. I'm very excited for that. Is Ty performing? I think so. Yeah, no, they are. For sure, 100%. I don't know. I don't remember when. I'm thinking this year I probably won't do the... If there's a Smash tournament, I'm not going to do it, I think. It was fun the last time I did it in Fursuit, but like it just takes so much time. And then there's like a poker tournament. I'm probably not gonna do that either. You want to do the dance comp, but you don't have a suit? Like, I don't know, like, I have so many people I just want to hang out with, that I don't know that I'm gonna bother with this whole competition stuff. It's just too much. I don't know. If somebody wants to play Smash with me, we can play Smash, like, just on the side for fun. But doing the whole thing where I just play Smash for like 4 hours at a tournament and then it just pulls me away from everybody, it's like, nah, don't want to do it. All right, Zav, I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for coming by. You're in the TO for Smash and you don't think it'll be as long this year? Are you the Did you see me play back in 2000 and was it 19 or 20? I think it was 20. I played in 2020 in fursuit. And I placed like 8th or something. I was on stream like 3 times. I am probably a better Smash player now than I was back then. You were in the tournament last time and you're pool A or 1. Okay. You know what's really funny? There is an artist. You guys have probably seen Olive Teacup, I think. It's like a blue otter. That artist, who has done some fan art for me now, and is an amazing artist. I found out after talking with them, they were in that tournament too, and I beat them in the Yoshi versus Yoshi Ditto match, but we didn't know it was each other at the time. It was crazy. What are we doing today? We're just hanging out. There's pictures in the Clam Club. Okay. I kind of want to take us to another world. Maybe. Where do I want to take us? Do we want a new background? New look? We could go here. I wonder if this will run okay. Hopefully this runs okay. I'm going to see if this will run okay. I know it's... Your login expired. What the... It's like your login expired. I've been sitting in the same world too long. I am on a Vive Pro 2. They're like, you've been standing in one place for too long? Sorry. Okay, let's see if this runs okay on stream. Hello, chat. You can barely see me. I'm very glowy here. I love this world. This world is so cool. Let me know if we drop frames or anything. It looks okay on my end. I love this world. See? So cool. It's not Negasync. It's just my glowiness. This is one of my favorite worlds. Look at this. Look. Look at all the fishes. I love this world. Look. There's like whale sharks and stuff. It's so cool. I love Aquarius so much. I wanted to host a meetup at this world at one point, just because it was like so pretty. Just here, I'll show you guys around. There's no way to flip the camera, huh? Hang on. I want to like flip the camera, but I'm not sure if I can. Yeah, I don't know if I can. You guys are just gonna have to look at it while looking at me, apparently. But yeah, there's like all these fish up here, and then like the actual like world is like so cool looking. You can see all like this stuff in the background here. It's like one of my favorite worlds. Yeah, it's one of my favorite worlds. I actually have had like a lot of hangout nights with like Webster and stuff here. Just look at this. Look at all these fish. Look at all these fishies. BioShock world, but less depressing. I mean, yeah, basically. Big fishies. Just adjust the camera a little bit there. There's a great way to break the world and get behind the glass. I mean, like, I could just do that on my own. I could just, like, literally... place move behind it. Oh, God. It's making me fall, like, a lot. Yeah, I could just play space move back there, but I'm not gonna. And then there's other stuff in this world, too. I love how... You guys ever see how glowy I get at night? Look at this. I love how glowy I get at the dark. It's so good. But yeah, then there's this, like, there's these tubes you can walk through. This is just like the Ripley's Aquarium in Toronto. Yeah, the glowy beans. They don't glow so much in the blue light. But when you're in, like, the real dark, they glow a lot. But yeah. There's like a side room over here. This is where the magic happens. And they've got this big shark plushie with glowing eyes. Look at this guy. Look at this cutie. Look at him. He's stuck to my paw. I can't get rid of him. He's stuck here forever. It's not, yeah, it's a danger Blaha. He's much sharper than a Blaha. Bruce turned into a marketable plushie. He is cute though. I do like him. And then over here, they got a cool jellyfish tank. All that over there. I figured we could like go around to a couple different worlds here. I think I do not have that leveled properly. There we go. And then over here, there is a cool hot tub. Bravo Potato, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. Everything's so dark. Yeah, over here it's really dark. Over there. But like some of the areas are not so dark. Like some of like the hot tub is like nice and bright. Yeah, we can do an hot tub stream. You guys want to just hang out in the hot tub? Speaking of hot tubs. Dude, you guys have no idea how hard it is to keep secrets. Secrets are hard. I have such a secret that I want to say, but I can't. What is this? Oh, these are like supporters of the world. And then there's like another little club over here with like more jellyfish. But my favorite part is secrets are easier to keep if you also love surprising people. Whoa, okay, I almost fell over. The problem is that I do want to surprise everybody, but also at the same time, I really want to tell everybody like now. Is the secret about me? In a roundabout way. It's a very, very good secret though. There's one other part of this world and it's over there. There's like a little bar area. You find secrets easy? Why aren't you just privileged? Let me in. This is like one of my favorite places to just hang out and vibe. Look at the kelp forest. There's a big kelp forest. About the new world, I would never ruin the secret. The secret is safe with me. I won't say anything. Am I allowed to drink beer on stream? Ah. Is it working? It's not coming out, huh? I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it is. If I get too close, it doesn't pour. Absolutely lose it on stream, exactly. This is a lot of beer for a tiny otter. As you can see, it's literally the size of my body. Yeah, my character's only about, well, I mean, even then, my character's supposed to be like 2'8". This beer bottle is like 1.5 feet tall. It's a big beer bottle. For what it's worth. God, what a quote. But yeah, then up here, there's like a pool table that I can't use. As you can see, it is far too tall for me. Why aren't there any otters in the kelp aquarium? I wish there was. There should be. Can you imagine a hot tub full of otter droids? I'd like there to be. But yeah, like I can't play this. It's too tall. I would have to like adjust myself up. Why don't they think about small people in these worlds, man? They gotta think about It's another friend. There's another friend here. Mwah. Look at this cutie blah. You can't play, but you can pop up from the under the table. Yeah, I can literally be in the middle of the table right here. Just like watching their ball. Just be like, hello. Just you, a bunch of little guys, and some water. Yeah, it's Brucey. Look at these cuties. I love these cute shark plushies. So cute. Yeah, that's the magic sink ball over there. So majestic. Dude, I love the chill music. I also think this is so funny. There's this mirror over here that's not a mirror. I mean, like, you can turn it into a mirror, but like by default it like doesn't reflect anything. This is just a fake texture. Just designed to even look like a mirror. Like, it's reflective, but it's not reflecting anything. It's just reflecting like a fake texture. All you need now is a pet werewolf and a sushi platter. Oh, I want to be the werewolf pet, actually. We can have the sushi, but can I be the werewolf's pet the other way around? I mean, I guess he could be my pet. That's fine, too. Maybe I'm the sushi platter? Now that's appealing. What? Yeah, that's the thing. This place gives me mad Ripley's Aquarium vibes. Have you been there in Toronto? It's really good. I love that place. That place is like one of my favorite places in Toronto, actually. I'm gonna go stand where the whale shark is. Yeah, I think it's silly how my nose deforms and whatever. I actually do have a new model coming. Yeah, Ripley's Aquarium. It's out in Toronto, downtown. Unfortunately, you can't really see many of the fish from this angle. I'm bringing this down a little. Ages ago when your dad was still around. It's one of my favorite places. It's definitely really good. Yeah, if you're ever in Toronto, it's a great place to go. It's super, super pretty. It's got like those tunnels that you saw over there. It's got that with like a big conveyor belt through it, and there's like sharks and stuff through the tunnel. It's really, really cool. You wouldn't expect it to be as cool as it is, but it's like really, really cool. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things about it. I mean, that's like the part of the aquarium, right? That's like the part of the aquarium that everybody loves and remembers. For sure. Oh, big stretches. I was gonna go to the zoo here in Seattle, actually, but then we had a hell of a weekend. I mean, for people that were here for my Pokemon streams this last weekend, you probably recognized that my ended stream early because my husband hurt themselves. And we had to go to the hospital, and then that got their finger fixed because they were cutting dinner and they hurt themselves. And then we were going to go to the zoo on Monday during President's Day. And then we went out to the car and we found out that our car had a popped tire. So we had to put the spare on the car. And then we had to pay like $300 to get a freaking tire fixed. And like I had a freaking hockey game at midnight. And we lost that game like 9-3. Like, I had a heck of a weekend. Like, for a 4-day weekend that I effectively took, I forget how many beans I have sometimes. I had basically no time to relax. $300 for one tire. It's a big tire. I mean, I don't know. It's a newer car. I don't know what everything is that happened. I think my husband just walked through the door, so I could probably ask. But yeah, a lot happened. We did get to finally see Spider-Man on Monday. We went out to a theater for like literally the first time since the pandemic started, and I forgot how much I missed theaters. I had a great time. I felt like I was at Disney World, even though the screen we ended up seeing on it was like kind of small relative to everything else. You can't just change one tire. I don't know. Talk to the dealership. I don't know what they're doing. Apparently, we did just change one tire. To be fair, yeah, we only have 6,000 miles on the car, so those tires literally are probably rated for like 8 times more than that. We bought it. We bought a car. Brand new. Well, we leased it, but anyway, we got a car brand new in 2019, 3 months before the pandemic, thinking that we would like drive it a lot and go and do like road trips around like the Pacific Northwest. And then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, I do not want to be anywhere near anybody, so that's not happening. And so we basically didn't drive it at all. And so there's like no wear on our tires at all. So it was basically a brand new tire almost. I'm sure they are. They're probably like, oh, we're not gonna let us buy it probably. We should drive it like 30,000 miles just to take value off of it so they don't want it. You know what I mean? Fooster is now a distinct white meat. Look at this distinguished gentleman. The way they're sitting, yes. But yeah, how was your guys' long weekends, guys? I loved seeing Spider-Man. Spider-Man was like awesome. Oh my god, Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel movie in general. Like of all the characters, I love Spider-Man specifically. And then I like, are you trying to kiss me?
Yes.
Okay, careful the mic. Mwah. You went skiing, yo. I'm so jealous. I moved out to like the Pacific Northwest with the intention of going to skiing more often, but just never got the chance. Again, I was really scared of the pandemic because I was working on a lot of stuff. So like I was working on actual pandemic related research, and I thought it was like really irresponsible of me to potentially catch COVID when I was trying to solve COVID. So I was like, now I think I could probably go, but I don't know. Yeah, Puck did buy ski pants. That's true. You just did work and hung out in VR chat. I have surprisingly little time to hang out in VR chat. I want to more often, but I just haven't been. Maybe I will do it more in the future. maybe given my surprises that I'm totally not talking about yet, that I've talked about very many times, maybe that will cause me to spend more time in VR. Since we spent so much time on that surprises. I guess you're going digging because no beast digs a hole like a mole. I don't know what you mean, but have fun digging. But you went to your first concert? Grape Shits, what was your first concert? What was that? Spider-Man is a good balance of superpower. Not too powerful that they're relatable, and he can still be in harm's way and powerful enough to face real villains. I really like him because he's like relatable, and I think it's part of it. It's like a nerd. He's like a nerd like me, right? Like he's like a scientist or an engineer or something. So there's something about that. He's just a very relatable hero to me. I have read all of the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, and I'm now reading Miles Morales, and I love that. I love Miles. Miles might be the best Spider-Man, to be honest. Yeah, Spider-Man's just like really relatable. He goes through so many things that are like literally just real world problems, you know what I mean? Instead of like problems that are like, oh no, my superpowers. You're quoting a line from Redwall. Oh, I never read Redwall. I know it's supposed to be really good. I've just never read it. I've never read Redwall. My friend was obsessed with it. I just was too busy reading Goosebumps and Animorphs. You went to see Tyler, the Creator. Yo, it was an amazing show and also your first mosh pit. That sounds awesome. I don't know that it's my vibe, but I am super happy for you. My favorite concert I ever went to was Porter Robinson and Maddie on at the Shelter Tour. That was the best, man. Although Janelle Monáe was a close second. Damn, that show was good. Janelle Monáe's show was really, really good. Oh no, the shrapnel in my chest I can afford to remove, but for some reason haven't. Yeah. Well, there's like a reason. There's like a story reason for it, but it's kind of stupid. There's something about keeping a sustainable life while saving the world secretly. Well, there are Spider-Mans out there that are rich because they're like, they start their own company and then they're like super rich or whatever. But like, that's like the 1960s Spider-Man that has already graduated college and been to MIT and then started a company, and it basically has the Stark Industry. Spider-Men, not Spider-Mans. Isn't it like lieutenants generals? Maybe it's Spider's Men's. Spider's Men's. Spider's Mans. Spiders people. Lore-wise, the shrapnel was too close to his heart to remove. Yeah, but why didn't you just get a heart transplant, though? I like Spiders-Man. I like Spiders-Man a lot. Men Spider. I love that the plural for Lieutenant General is Lieutenants Generals. It's like the plural for AirPod Pro is AirPods Pro, like Lieutenants General. Like AirPods Pro. For some reason. English is crazy, man. This is why I said it's not my favorite subject. I hate that subject. It's so hard. But yeah, I did like the movie. The movie was like really good. The ending was good. I think that like the next movie for like whatever it's gonna be, something is what is it? Doctor Strange and the something of madness, multiverse of madness, or whatever it is. I think that's it, right? The ending was like leaning into that Doctor Strange stuff. The Doctor Strange stuff, I'll be honest, like last cycle of Marvel, I was kind of out on it when it was so focused on like Thor and like Iron Man and stuff like that. I really liked the first Iron Man. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness, that's it. But I like the early stuff, but then it got so complicated with all the Thor, Thanos stuff, and I was like, I'm not so into it anymore. Your favorite line was, Peter, are you okay? Yeah, it's pretty good too. I really liked, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but I'm like, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere, right? That was a great line. Learning English is to experience madness. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at this cycle of Marvel, and like the TV shows have been so good, like Loki and WandaVision and stuff like that were so good, and then like having the TV shows were good, and then like the movies have been good. Shang-Chi was amazing, Spider-Man was amazing, Multiverse of Madness looks amazing, so good, so good. Is English just a bunch of languages cosplaying as one that beats up other languages and spells bear verb? Well, kinda. This is not a science question well, this is more like I have a friend that's a linguist that could probably answer this a lot better than me. Yeah, my understanding of English is that like it sort of has become a hodgepodge or a melting pot of like different words and whatnot. But I mean, language is whatever you want it to be. Anything can be a word if you want it to be, right? Most of the TV shows don't do it for you. I wasn't so into a lot of it. I started watching the newer Daredevil, and I found that really interesting because, oh God, the guy that played Kingpin, holy crap. The guy that plays Kingpin in the Daredevil shows, oh my God, he's so good. I forget what else he's from, but he did an amazing job as the Kingpin. Oh my God, it was so good. So there was some of that, but like the newer stuff like WandaVision and Loki, those were amazing. Loki is a great show. I've heard that the Daredevil show is really good. We saw like a season or two, and I wasn't so into it until I got to the Kingpin stuff. Oh my God. Yeah, Kingpin is in the Hawkeye series too. He is such a good actor. Oh my God. That guy needs to play Kingpin in the movies, because I need a Spider-Man movie about Kingpin, because damn. I know that like the new Spider-Man movies are like so focused on like bigger things than just like the Kingpin or whatever, but man, I would kill for that. That would be so good. He also played Thor? Not in the movies though. Must have been like in something else, but I don't think he played Thor. He's not Chris Hemsworth or whatever, right? Which Chris is he? Because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just full of Chris's. Do we have a timeline where he originally became Iron Man to present day? Would that compare to the average lifespan of a heart transplant? There's probably a timeline where I think even in the MCU he takes out the core, right? I think he does that eventually. You'd love to see the Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse? Yeah, I mean that, but I mean like Kingpin in general. I'd love to see more Kingpin and Roxxon stuff. Now that we know that the Kingpin exists in the MCU, It would be very cool to see that and then have like the Roxxon Company too, and like have the fights between like the Roxxon Company and then like the Kingpin stuff. It would be very cool. Yeah, Roxxon was featured a bunch in Loki, which makes me, I thought it was gonna be in the movie, but it was not, which I was very surprised by. Yeah, he upgrades the core, right? He removed the shrapnel. I remember that. I remember. He was really ripped in the 80s where he was Thor in the Adventure. Oh, so it was a different show then. Okay. I see. It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. Iron Man's tech is kind of sucky compared to all the galactic stuff happening. Well, yeah, I think that's part of why, I mean, spoilers, Iron Man's not there anymore, is because I think it would pale in comparison to all the stuff happening that's going to be like galactic related or whatever. I'm a little worried that they're going to write Spider-Man out of the story because like it's all going to happen in space or whatever with the Silver Surfer and whatever. And I'm very concerned that the Fantastic Four is going to be super bad. I think I don't know if there's going to be no more Avengers movies. I have no idea. There maybe not, I don't know, those Avengers, but maybe there'll be something else, but I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty sure that the bad guy of this cycle, like the ultimate bad guy, is going to be Galactus, right? Like it's going to be Galactus, right? Hey, Lil Chu, hi, welcome in. How's it going? Technically, to that little girl, he was Thor for what he did for them. Dude, he's such a good actor. I really like him. Yeah, can you imagine Iron Man just like zipping around and like firing shoulder missiles at like Galactus? And it's like, dude, what are you even doing? It's like, these are like, just flick these away out of here. More like Galactus intolerance. What if Galactus was lactose intolerant? That would be crazy. How can the Fantastic Four be bad? They have such a good track record. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, they've had so much trouble with that show, with that whole thing. I'm like, I don't know if they can rescue it, man. I don't know if there's a way. Just shoot him in the Galactusy. You get real small like Ant-Man, you fly into the Galactusy, and then you get real big. Dude, there will be an Avengers, the new Avengers with Blade, Spider-Man, Thor, and Wolverine. That would be kind of sick. I do remember that being the Avengers when I was a kid. It should be Spider-Man. I remember Spider-Man being an Avenger. There should be a new Thor, or maybe it'll be the same Thor. I'm not sure. I know in the comic books, there's a Thor now that's like a woman. So maybe that'll happen? I don't know. And there's also the Young Avengers. We could have the Young Avengers since Miss Marvel is getting a TV show. And then you'd have Miles Morales, Viv, who's the other one? Miles Morales, Viv, frick, I can't remember the other ones. Those are the two important ones. The Young Avengers are really good. Yeah, Miss Marvel, dude, forget about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's boring. That's old hat. Forget that. That sucks. Miss Marvel, when she gets her TV show, if you don't know who Miss Marvel is, she is the best. She's actually the best. In the comic books, she's so good. Oh my gosh. If they don't do her character justice, I'm going to be so upset. And if they're going to put Miss Marvel in, they got to bring Miles in, man. They got to bring Miles Morales in. You think that girl Thor would be stupid, but considering who it is and why she can wield the power of God? Yeah, it's a really good story. It's a really, really important story. I really like it. It's a good story. I'm not a huge comic book. I just basically read it for the Spider-Man. I only read Spider-Man. I just want to read Miles Morales, who's the best Spider-Man. And I know about all these things adjacently, and so I've encountered Miss Marvel because of it. But yeah, I think she's a mute. Miss Marvel? Miss Marvel, I think, just has powers. I don't know if she's an Inhuman. I know a friend that would know, but I have no idea. You think that's what they're doing for Love and Thunder? I think that would be very cool. I would love to see it. I think that's a very good story. The first Avengers movie, why and how did the nuke destroy the mothership inside the portal from the Tesseract? You're getting into some stuff that I don't remember. I don't really give a crap about the Avengers. Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. Dude, the Inhumans is like a whole... I swear to God, if they introduce Inhumans to the Marvel universe, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's so stupid. It's like the dumbest stuff. Just don't make her an Inhuman, please. It's so stupid. Oh, this green mist of teratogens is invading the world and turning people into mutants. Oh no. It's so stupid. The Squirrel Girl? I don't remember a Squirrel Girl, but I could be wrong. On the Eternals. I thought the Eternals was boring and had no point. Oh, this is the song that sounds like Taylor Swift. DSMP Loverhe, welcome to the Clan Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. Yeah, I watched like all of the Eternals, and like throughout the whole movie, I was like, did this have a story? Like nothing happened. So I don't know. Genuinely, if you asked me what the story to Eternals was, I'd be like, I don't know. I do not remember. Didn't they have the Inhumans in the shows? Not in the MCU, I don't think so. Yeah, for all their power, they didn't do much. But to be honest, that's sort of basically how the Eternals are in the comic books. They basically just sort of are there. Yeah, it was like 2 hours of superheroes waiting for the plot to happen, and then the plot happened around them, and they had no impact on it. It was kind of stupid. Monica is Photon, but was Captain Marvel for a period of time. Captain Marvel is like a thing where it's like a title, I think, and then characters come in and out of being Captain Marvel or something. I actually never saw Ant-Man. I sort of was very much out on that part of Marvel. By the time like we got into like phase 3 or whatever it was, where it was very Thanos oriented, I stopped caring. I basically only watched movies because Spider-Man was in them. Basically, I was like, ooh, Tom Holland, give me some of that. Give me that. That's all I cared about. I just wanted Tom Holland. Power scaling is going to be a problem for the MCU. Yeah, that's why they're probably going to do a thing like they do in the comic books where they destroy the universe and start over. You need a furry Marvel heroes? What, you never seen Rocket Raccoon? What are you talking about? Rocket Raccoon's right there. Literally right there. Yeah, it always has a power creep. I agree it's going to be a problem, but Tom Holland's weird for you. He's very attractive at playing a minor, but he's not a minor. He is not a minor. That's why I'm saying, give me that Tom Holland. But I think he's like, I guess he's a high schooler in the movie, but like he's fun to watch on the screen, but also he's attractive. But yes, he is playing a minor, so it's kind of a weird situation. He's so funny in real life. I love watching interviews of him and Zendaya talking about the Zendaya? Is it Zendaya or Zendaya? Anyway, I love watching them. He is about to go to college, so I think he's like almost 18. He should be 18 in the next movie. But I love watching. Yeah, Zendaya is Minchi. Yes, I agree. But anyway, I love watching interviews of Zendaya and Tom Holland in doing interviews for the shows, for like the movies, because it's so funny because Tom Holland is clearly so bad at keeping secrets, and then Zendaya is sitting there just glaring at Tom, just being like, don't you mess this up, don't say it. Because they're like, are there gonna be more Spider-Man movies? And Tom is like, geez. Oh my god, the Tom Holland lip sync to Umbrella is fire. It is fire. It is so good. I had never seen it before until like recently, and then I saw it and I'm like, whoa, he could pull that off? Holy crap. So good. Like where he's got like the big long stockings on and like the makeup. Oh my god, he pulls that off. I wish I could pull that off. I don't think I could pull that off. Like I'm non-binary, and god, I wanna be that hot. Like I wanna look like that. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. Just dress me up like that. It's for the Lost City of Z. He wore a Spider-Man suit on set. That's so cool. It's like he gets like live his dream of being Spider-Man, right? It's so cool. You're gonna have to stop watching me so you can watch Tom kill it in that video. Dude, my jaw was on the floor watching that video. I couldn't believe it. And honestly, I couldn't believe he was British. When I found out that he was British, I was like, shut up, there's no way. How does he have that good of a like Queen's accent? It's crazy. He sounds like he's from New York. It's crazy. Like that's the thing. The fact that actors are able to do that, where they're like, oh, like actually, Benedict Cumberbatch does the same thing, right? And House, the guy that plays House, what is his name? Frick. All these British actors that pull off a North American act, like it's so stupid because like obviously like an American can just do a British accent or whatever, right? But like, I don't know why it breaks my brain for British people then to just do an American accent. Like it should be totally normal. If I can do a British accent, they can do an American accent, right? There's literally no reason that it shouldn't be like that, but for some reason it just blows our mind every time, right? Yeah, Hugh Laurie was the one, yeah. It's a lot of work. Your husband and I keep each other in check with keeping in shape, and you're raised gender neutral. Like, it's not just being in shape. It's like there's something about like knowing how to do the makeup and how to dress gender neutral and like all that kind of stuff. Like, as somebody that was obviously not raised gender neutral, it's very difficult for me to learn how to dress myself in a gender neutral way. I talked about this all last stream too. Ori12304. Oh, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. But yeah, like as somebody like that's not from that world, I find that very difficult. The accent you want to see is Chris Pratt do Mario. Dude, it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be actually so bad. It's the British invasion. There's also the Canadian invasion. All the best actors are Canadian. There's so many. Emma Watson's perfect American accent. I can't even picture that. That's crazy. Isn't Charlie Day doing Luigi? I believe that's true. I'm trying my best. I have some cute outfits that I like, but it's tough. I found that like Zara has really cute like non-binary clothes, so I've been like shopping at Zara a lot. So they have like these really cute sweaters and like whatnot. I like that a lot. I wish, like, I've talked about this before. I wish I could just pay somebody to be like, hey, take me out and make me look NB. I just want to look as NB as possible. Dress me. Just pay them. Like, because I just don't want to learn how to do it myself. Or at least teach me how to dress myself again. Yeah, I'm really terrified to hear Chris Pratt's Mario. I think Chris Pratt's Mario is going to be unhinged. It will be unhinged. I'm trying to think of like Chris Pratt and be like, whoa, dude, I'm like Mario. Isn't that crazy? You don't need to dress up. I'm sure you're nice looking in any clothes. Not right now. I'm not. I need a haircut really bad. I haven't had a haircut since before Christmas. It's shaggy as heck. But yeah, I've been meaning to go out to the to Cap Hill and find a hairdresser that does non-binary haircuts. And try to get like a new hairstyle that's like more non-binary looking, because I'm worried about going to like a hairdresser and saying like, hey, give me something sort of agender, and they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Because so many hairdressers that I go to just give me like the side part guy cut, and I'm like, oh, get that out of here. What do non-binary clothes like? Basically just guy clothes that look a little more feminine. Basically, they fit a guy, but they look more feminine. That's what I'm looking for. But like, really, it's not necessarily just that. It's something. There's a style I want. I don't know. I just want to have a style. But yeah, getting a more typical woman cut can look non-binary. That's true too. A V-neck. I mean, I've had V-necks, but I worry about V-necks. I don't know, because they show off too much chest. It's a little weird. There are style services. There are. I mean, I've done Stitch Fix, but I think it's kind of sucky. Well, it's not sucky. It's just, I think, I worry that I'm going to be like, hey, give me non-binary stuff. And they're going to be like, all right, here's a girl's top or something. I don't know. Rocking a faux hawk. I did that for a while. I don't know if I would love it today. Let's see. I don't know. Could try. I could try. I would have to find somewhere that worked really well for it. It's something I want to do. There is talking about the neck cut. I do have a cute turtleneck that I think is really cute, but I do want to dress more androgynously in general. I want to do my nails pink for the con. Like, I don't know if I don't want to make it like this pink. I was thinking more like this pink, like this, like maybe like a dark pink, like a neon pink, but like a dull neon pink. Does that make any sense? I don't know. It's hard to say. Try wearing a modern kimono. I'm not sure I'm the right shape for a modern kimono. I've got hockey body is the problem. I've got big otter legs. See? Look, like this. Big, thick otter legs. Yo, Dax, hi. Welcome on in. How's it going? It's a bit billowy, but it extends your casual clothing. Maybe. Spectral Faye, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome. Hi, little sock thief. Hi. Stink. Crouton, how dare you? Get out of here. Oh, yeah, beans for the Raiders. Beans. Hang on, I gotta eat your beans. Beans. I'm friend-shaped. I think I'm just me-shaped. People leave? How dare you? People leave is actually funny. I should put people leave on the channel. You have big arms. I have big legs, which is kind of weird. I have it's kind of weird. Actually, I'm very otter shaped. If you look at me here, right? I have like little skinny arms and then like big legs like this. That's actually very much how my body is in real life. It's just I'm not long, to be honest. I have like big legs and like tiny little arms. Which makes it weird because like I have to get like certain size. I don't know. I think I look weird. But if only I could take my body and like just make me like half the height, like this tall, and then like this tall, and then like literally grow a tail, and then get beans, and then have glowy eyes and ears and tongue and paws, and then so basically just look like this. That would be optimal. I look swag. Thank you, Dax. Dax, how's it going? How was your stream? How far did you get in Legend of Zelda? You're not playing a randomizer, right? You're just playing like the regular one? You could get bigger and be a T-Rex. Interesting. You gotta go, see you. All right, thanks for coming by. Have a great rest of your day. Little sock thief, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. Ganon next, just regular. Yo, have you ever beaten it before? Get your hair cut in a way that suggests the otter ears, but then I would have 2 pairs of ears. No one ever sees me anyway in the furry fandom, unless I'm in fursuit. You know, there was one time I got recognized at a con. That was after I started streaming. And this is the only time I've ever been recognized not in fursuit, and it's because somebody recognized my voice while I was in an elevator. I was talking to Webby, and they were like, "Wait, are you Sync?" And I was like, "Yes. How did you know that?" They're like, "Oh, I recognize your voice. I watch your streams a lot." And I was like, "Yo, that's really cool." I had no idea. It never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that like people would know my voice. It's so crazy. Yo, Pamper Pit, thank you for giving a tier 1 subscription to Daxback. Daxback, welcome to the Clam Club VIP lounge where the Wi-Fi is always clean. Welcome. Thank you so much for that tier 1 sub. But yeah, like as far as a haircut goes, I usually get the sides cut really short. I don't really like long hair. The problem is I don't know how to style my longer hair. I've always thought that longer hair like that's like up and kind of like it looks really cool, but I'm like, what do I gotta do to make my hair like that cool? I don't know. People have the coolest hair. How do I get cool hair? How do I get cool hair? You have long hair and you love it? I tried. I really tried. I really did. Chrissy Mishi, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I tried the long hair thing during the pandemic. I did not get my hair cut from like March 2020 until like the summer of 2021. And my hair was like this long. Like I could pull this all the way down past my chin. Okay? Like it was like from here all the way to here. I hated it. It made me so mad. Like it was like when I was in VR, it was about chin length, and like it was just this length where I couldn't pull it back and put it in a ponytail. Like it would make a ponytail like this long, and then it would just come out of the ponytail or whatever. And then if I got in VR, it wasn't long enough that the straps of the VR helmet would like hold it in place. So I would either have to wear a ponytail that wasn't long enough so it would like stick up and get hit by the cables and stuff, or I would like try to pin it back and then it would just end up in my eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, I hated it so much. It just made me really upset. Cool hair means a lot of conditioner and brushing. I tried the whole don't wash your hair thing and conditioning it thing, and I don't know, I got rid of it. It took 2 years to get long enough to tie up. I got to a point with it where I just gave up. Also, Chrissy Mishi, hi. Welcome on in, first time chatter, welcome. You still wash it daily? I've always been told that like that like messes it up somehow or something. But yeah, it's the same thing. Sereth Blood, if my hair gets to the point where it's over my ears, it drives me crazy. Or you get that thing where like your side, like over here on your side, like here, it gets like long and all scraggly and gross. I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah, I always wanted to try the long hair thing, but at some point I literally looked at my husband and I handed him a pair of scissors and I'm like, here's the deal. Either you're going to try and cut my hair or I'm going to cut my hair, and one way or another, it's coming off. I was like, it's got to come off because I can't deal with it anymore. And he was so nervous to cut my hair because he thought he was going to mess it up. But I was like, no, you don't understand. If I have to buzz my head, I'm buzzing my head. I don't care anymore. But normally I don't do like a buzzed haircut. I usually do like I really like messy hair. I like a messy look. You know what I mean? Like where it's like kind of like all over the place. When I was a kid, this is probably going to date me. When I was younger, as a millennial, I did have frosted tips. I had the short, spiky hair with the frosted tips like Justin Timberlake. It was the style at the time. I'm sorry. I was a cool kid. Oh, I was absolutely not a cool kid. Boomer, how dare you? Bring it back. I've thought about doing blonde, but I think that blonde, I don't know, dyed blonde just makes you look like you're in a boy band, right? I don't know. Yeah, everybody did it though. Everybody had the blonde spiky hair. Everybody. And then no, you guys don't understand. I got really into this. I got really into coloring my hair. I got to the point where I was like getting like $100 haircuts because I would get blonde tips, but then I would get lowlights and highlights in it, and so it was multiple colors and whatever, and all different lengths and cut with a razor and stuff, and so it was like fancy boy band. It was like fancy boy band. It was so bad. It was so bad. Back then, that's like $300 now. Yeah, it was an expensive haircut because I would have to get it all razored, and then I had to have it layered with different colors at different, and then they'd have to bleach it, and then they had to layer different colors in it. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I did do pink hair at one point. Pink hair was cute. I liked pink hair, but it didn't set too well. It wasn't like this pink. It was like this pink. So it ended up just like lightly pink or whatever. Fish breath. Your bug breath. Your hair is naturally brown on the sides and blue-green on the top. Your hair is naturally blue-green on the top? That's crazy. I'm so mean. Yeah, whatever. 800. You've never done anything with your hair? I have boring hair. I like having exciting hair, like fun, messy hair. I wish I knew how to style it better. I always felt like I just don't know what I'm doing. Gunnar can't stand being told that he plays like anything other than like a 1500. So embarrassing. Imagine blundering in chess. I would never. Your hair used to be naturally purple in the sun. Dude, that's crazy. You dyed the top. Oh, okay, naturally brown. Yeah, I really like the blue hair thing. I don't know if I could pull it off. I want to. I just don't know how. Do I play with my hair a lot? Like, yeah, I probably a fair bit. I probably do it a fair bit. Messy hair like British singer hair. No, like messy but intentional messy, not like floppy mop. Like, well, I mean, I did messy spikes before, right? But now you do like more of a natural look. But I don't like it to be like too. I don't like my hair to be like. You know how people have like the guys have like the comb over with the side part? I don't like it. It looks too professional. I don't like my hair to look too professional. I like it to look like it's a little lazy. I like that lazy got out of bed head hair. I like that. Infinity Fox, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome, welcome. You have a strong urge to drag me shopping? Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I have a friend, you probably know him, Strobes. Goes by Smelly Strobes, I think, on TikTok, Twitter. Really good friend of mine. And they've threatened to take me shopping, but they're also East Coast as well, for girls' clothes. And I've wanted to take them up on that. I think it would be so much fun. We want to have like a sleepover where we go shopping and then we like get dressed and then we like do each other's nails and stuff. And I think it would be really fun, but I just haven't done it yet. Well, I mean, they live 3,000 miles away. But yeah, finding the style is all about experimenting. I just wish, I just feel like I lack confidence in it or something. What's my average typing speed? I don't know. When I was younger, I think it was measured at like 90 or 100 or something. Night Dragon, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. Need to look at beach and tropical shops. I will say, I do love a beachy look, right? Like I love, and I know this is like typical, but I love like a patterned button-up shirt with like tiki patterns or beachy patterns all over it. I love them. I think they're really cute in the summer with like a pair of shorts. So would I choose an otter? I always wanted to make an otter character. And then when I was designing Sync, I was just sort of like, oh, this would look cute as an otter. I had no specific resonance with otters. I just thought they were cute at the time. I do feel a lot more resonance with otters now, like than I did at the time when I designed the character. But I do love swimming. I love the beach. I love seafood. Like it just felt like a good fit for me, and I think they're cute. So that's why I picked an otter, basically. We'll start at Parrot Head and branch out until we find whatever otter wave is. Dude, that's what I want. I want otter wave style. I did have a different Sona before Sync. Yeah, I was a dog. Hi, Grim. Welcome in. Welcome. But these days, I'm basically full-time otter. You swapped from a panda to an otter Sona a few years back because otters are pretty community-driven. Like, it is that. There is a big otter community, and they're very passionate about that community. Like, there's lots of huge otter chats, which I think is really cool. And people, like, that are otters love other otter characters and stuff like that. I do think it is very cool that that happens. You gotten out of your shell a bit more. Like, I do feel like Sync fits me more than, like, other characters I've had in the past. It feels more me today because, like, my other characters were very masculine, and I didn't realize how non-binary I was for a long time. And I've talked about this before, but designing Sync as a character really helped me realize that I was non-binary because, like, as soon as I had my character that was very androgynous, right, I was like, oh, but I really love that, though. Like, I really like sort of this vibe that, like, it's difficult to tell whether Sync is, like, male or female. And I've had Sync drawn in, like, bikinis, and I've had Sync drawn in, like, cute girls' skirts and stuff like that, and then I've had Sync drawn just, like, doing boyish stuff, which I love that androgyny of it, like, just sort of, like, confusing gender fluidness. Really cool. Yeah, this VR chat model is everywhere, but that's, like, a whole other thing. That's just because it was one of the early popular 3D models that was available, I think. I think because of this, otter characters are very much more popular than they would be otherwise. But I will say I was an otter before the otter model came out, because this model was based off of my characters. So let's make that clear. Otters, the animals are social. Pandas are very isolationist. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. It makes me famous. Not in any way that matters. Not in any way that matters. And Grim, I'm doing good today. Thank you. We're hanging out on stream. We're just vibing. We're having a good time. Androgyny seems to be pretty common around otters. That's maybe part of it. I don't know. I think it's just like there's something about being like a tiny little critter that makes people a little bit more androgynous, maybe. You run around VR chat screaming, I made you. I didn't make anything. I didn't do anything. It's just that the art that this was based off of was based off Leto's art. I'm in a lot of Leto art. And so I was seen in that art, and then they tried to like copy sort of the style of that. And so I was used as a reference at the time. Or one picture of me was used as reference, which is actually the reason why the base model is blue. There's a style that is similar to 90s mall, but specifically tropical. I love a tropical vibe, so there is that. A celebrity, don't even with me. You were in an otter stream yesterday, and the creator was trying to find the perfect neutral voice for their otter. My voice is just my voice. I don't really come up with a voice for my otter. I will say I do speak a little bit differently when I'm looking at myself in like VR chat or if I'm in fursuit. This is like my fursuit voice where I kind of have like this nasally sound to it. It's a little like higher pitched than I talk in real life if I wasn't streaming. But in a way, I kind of prefer that as my voice. Sometimes I break into this voice at like work and I notice it and it makes me feel very weird because then all of a sudden people like, I don't know if they recognize me, obviously probably not, but like it's like not how I would normally talk, like just at work. I don't know. Tiki, but less cargo cult and more neon. Now that sounds like a vibe. That sounds like a vibe I could be into. Oh yeah, by the way, Crouton, congratulations on your new job. Congratulations. Dude, if I could get like cute like tiki shirts that were like very neon-y and bring those on my cruise that I'm going on, oh heck yeah, that sounds sick. They took her gerbs. I'm pretty sure you can have Crouton's old job if you want it. I don't think Crouton wants it anymore. You're kind of a parrot head when you live in Florida. I'm from Canada, and so a lot of that is like me just wanting to like be on the beach because I hate the cold. There's a lot of that. I'm waiting to hear if I get a second interview yourself. Yo, well, I hope you get it. Congratulations on getting to the second interview. That's a scary point in the interview process. Although I will say, usually if you get to the second interview, that means that you're probably in a good spot. Can we have bats as decorations? Where? In here? Over there? The flippy flappies are like a bat. What about those guys up there? The flippy flappy, you see them? There he is, up above my head. Up there. I love a flippy flappy, dude. Flippy flappy's so cute. They do be flippy and flappy. Your current job is soulless, the new job will be your dream company. Yo, that's basically where I ended up. My old job was just like there was nothing going on at it. At the new job, I feel like they breathe new life into my body, basically. Because like it's consistently challenging. I'm doing real scientific innovations. I'm like constantly learning stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. The more you want a job, the less you usually get it in your experience. I will say every time I've gone into an interview where I'm like, I don't really care if I get this job, I get the job offer instantly. There was one exception that I had where I had an interview with this one lady that like, she was so aggressive and I didn't really care whether I got the job or not. And so I didn't do any research for the job. And she like called me out on it and gave me a lecture. I'm like, oh God, screw that. Badu Joseph, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for coming on by. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I agree. I think the thing is that when you have nothing at risk, you perform better in the interview because like you are more confident, I think is probably what it is. It's not that they can detect that you want the job, because I will say at my current job, in my last phases of interviews, when I was talking to the interviewers, I was like, man, I just felt so at comfort, and I mentioned to them that I was like, I do think this would be a really good fit, and like I really do want to work here because like I love what I've seen with the company. I love the team, and I told them specifically all that stuff. And actually, after the interview, I felt really nervous. Oh, it was a long lecture, by the way. It was like they literally stopped the interview after 20 minutes, then spent 40 minutes educating me about why like I did bad or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I wrote a really bad Glassdoor interview or review about them, so whatever. Kaneko, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. But yeah, for this interview, I was like, God, I really want to work here. I really love the vibe here. I love that there's like pride flags on the walls, and like the company seems so cool. I think this would be like basically as close to a dream job as I could ever see. I said all that, and then afterwards felt very, very self-conscious about it, and was like, was I too much? Was I too eager? Right? And I spent like a week worrying about it, and then like a week later, they're like, yeah, we're giving you the job. So, you know, they liked that passion from me, but I think that's good because this was a really good fit for me. What kind of company do I work for? I work for a biopharmaceutical company. It's it's not a research company. We produce a product, but I work in R&D for that company. So we're doing a lot of discovery. We're doing a lot of like testing of like new methods and whatnot. So, and developing stuff and writing papers and making science that makes the company money. Your worst interview we ever did, I ended up insulting the interviewers for being completely unprepared. A little voice in my head went, what are you saying? But I couldn't stop myself. So the story basically goes, they asked me, do you know anything about the company? And I said, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a lot. I didn't have time to look up your company because they asked me for an interview like the day before that the interview was over the phone. And I was like, I'll be honest, I looked you up a little bit. I understand that you do a little bit of this, but I would be interested in knowing a little bit more if you would tell me. And they just basically immediately shut me down. They were like, at that point, they were like, we're not hiring them. They immediately told me that they would not hire me, basically, because I didn't know enough about their company. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, first of all. And then they went on to tell me all the different reasons that they wouldn't hire me because I didn't have this, that, and the other education and experience and all this stuff. And I'm like, why are you even interviewing me? Like, what is this? It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, being too eager can come out as desperate. I think for me, it wasn't desperation. I was just like, you know, it wasn't about like, oh, I really need this job. It was like, I really want this job because this job seems like such an interesting place to be. So yeah, that's the thing is afterwards, honest to God. So you know what the funniest part is? The actual really funniest part about it is I found out after the fact, after I got hired at the other company, this company I work at now, that company that denied me, that was like total asshats about it, they're in the same building as my new company. The same building. And so I've seen people go in and out of that unit on a different floor, and they're all just like dressed up in like freaking shirts that are like up to their neck, and they're all like belts and like all just like dressed up all super nice and whatever. And I'm like, dude, I would be miserable there. I don't want to work at a place that makes you dress like you're going to a freaking prom. That sounds like hell. Yeah, it's very ironic, but it's very funny. Use ASL, but knowing every detail about them said everything I needed to know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just a weird situation for me at that company because like I said, I didn't have time to research them. Your dream company stress policy is like, if you don't get arrested on the way to work, you're fine. A lot of science is like that. Like most of the time they're like, whatever, show up and just be presentable. Because I'm not customer facing, right? As long as I'm not like dirty, they don't really care. I do dress kind of nice because I want to look nice, but I dress nice in my style. So I wear like nice sweaters, a nice pair of jeans, you know, decent shoes and whatever. But I don't really want to dress with button-ups and whatever. You're moving to Tokyo soon to work for an IT company. Now that sounds really cool. I bet you that is going to be a really interesting company. Do you live in Japan already? I've always wanted to visit Japan. I think Japan would be such a cool place to visit. The dean of the department at the university told our graduating class, never work for a company that makes you dress up. Honest to God, I think that I dodged a huge bullet with that company because like the way that they were so uptight in the interview and like from what I've seen of the dress code of the people walking in and out of there, I think they were a company that's like so concerned about their public image and so uptight that I would have been absolutely miserable there anyway. And I now work for a team where like no one cares what I really dress like. I can dress like whatever. It's really nice. You're moving from America. That's a big move. I hope it works out for you. That sounds really cool. What does my husband do for work? I don't really want to talk about like what my husband does for work, but they're a manager of some sort. They're a corporate shill, he says. I just don't want to dox my husband. They didn't choose to be on stream or anything, right? So, but yeah, I don't want to work for a company that's that strict. I think that wouldn't be fun. If I had the freedom to wear my own clothes, you'd be in surf shorts, an unbuttoned shirt, and maybe sandals. It sounds like you want to be a surfer, but big agree. I would be very nice. I would love that. Would I wear a fursuit? I could not wear a fursuit to work. Not because it would out me as a furry, because I've become less and less caring about that. I don't think they know I'm a furry, but it wouldn't surprise me if they suspected me of it. Yeah, but like I couldn't wear a fursuit to work just because like I would get fur in my experiments, which would be bad. I would love to do that, but you dropped an image in Media Hub memes. Media Hub memes. Media Hub meme. Oh, the Safer Work memes. Okay, yeah, I could take a look at that, but yeah, later. What if it was a BSL 4 fursuit? It's got like the full face shield and everything. That might work. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, if you're moving to Tokyo, that's a big move. I'd love to visit there. I don't know if I would want to live in Tokyo, but still, I think it'll be a cool experience. Working from home has been nice. PJs are your work uniform. I do love days that I get to stay at home and do nothing but wear like just no pants and a shirt. Sometimes a shirt. That is the best. You once signed into a company meeting with your Sona Gmail. When I did my interview for this company, I did a Zoom interview for my first phase, and I had to remember to change my Zoom name from Sync Otter to my real name before I logged into the meeting. You got your MTA certification? Yo, congratulations. Yeah, that's the thing is I can't be at home working much. Sometimes if I'm doing like DNA sequencing and I'm working with big data sets or something like that, I can work from home. But often I can't because I have to go to work and collect data, right? So I actually have to be able to collect that data. Your Gmail has your Sona's face on it. Yeah, I have a specific Gmail address just for work stuff that doesn't have a profile picture or anything like that. So that I don't get into that situation. I did have one situation once where my boss got a Telegram account, not my current boss, an old boss, and I like got a notification that it's like so-and-so is joined Telegram, and I was like, oh god, no. No, block, immediately block. You work with devs that have their Sona as their official profile. Do you work with Kieran? Because I think that Kieran does that. Kieran is legendary for that. The Box Fox, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. What a great introduction. Here, now I'm going to go show you my tail. But yeah, I really want to get to the point where I like can be openly furry at work. You know what I mean? Yeah, wag that tail. Wag that tail. Wag that tail. I want to be openly furry at work. I want to put like Fursona pins all over my bag and stuff. I'm not quite there on the confidence level yet. It's only been like 2 months since I started at this company, but I do want to do it. I really do. Yeah, I need to be like a huge asset so that like I need to be like that person in science where they're like, it doesn't matter how weird they are, they're brilliant, and so we can't get rid of them. Attend a company meeting with my VR. I should use like my VTuber as my Zoom avatar. Just show up and just have my VTuber. It'd be ridiculous. When I was working before the accident, it was a controlled study where we couldn't work from home. Yeah, that's a thing. It's kind of a situation where like I literally can't. I have to, there's like, you know, freaking $500,000 machine I have to use every day. Ooh, my mic changed. My mic changed? My audio is broken. My audio is broken? It shouldn't be. The audio sounds weird. Fixed? Fixed? Better? Okay. Is good? We're good? I might have bapped my mic by accident. I got a bit too loud. Okay, sorry. I might have oh. Yeah, I might have accidentally moved my microphone by accident. I don't think the mic it probably snapped to a different spot or something. Yeah, I actually have to move my microphone up and away from my face and behind my headset or else it's too loud. It's still crunchy? Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Let me get it nice and far away from my face. How about that? Is this better? Is this better now? Palin's the baby of Ali. Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. Good. Perfect. Yeah, this microphone's so sensitive. I think I have to turn the gain down or something. It's a little loud. Palin's the baby of Ali. Welcome. Good. Okay, yeah. This microphone I have to play with a fair bit to get it to the right loudness or whatever. It can be a little finicky. The apartment you're moving into is small and expensive and in a really tall building right by a park in Tokyo. You're excited and kind of scared. That sounds like a really cool adventure. Like, I'm kind of jealous. Moving across the world, like I moved from Toronto to Seattle. That was scary. That's a different country as well, although not as different as like Tokyo. Tokyo is like wildly different, so that's very cool. Yeah, it's like skipping 20 years into the future, especially if you're from a smaller town. That's crazy. The video is you just mushing your face and it fixes my audio. Yeah, I kind of have to like, because my microphone's like here actually. It's like up here, near my nose, like between my eyes basically, because I have to have it out and then up basically. I am Canadian, yeah. I grew up out west and then I went out east for school and I lived out in Toronto for like 10 years and then I moved to Seattle now. You're from Quebec? Yo, well, I have a lot of family in Quebec, in Montreal specifically. Yes, bonjour. Bonjour, comment ça va? That's why I'm nice. Well, I think I'm nice just because I'm a nice person. I think anybody can be nice. There's a lot of not so nice Canadians, let me tell you. They're nice until you get into a fight with them. Yeah, they're nice until you play hockey. I've had a lot of people get real angry at me. Your roomie in college was from close to Toronto. I wouldn't let him talk about it unless he pronounced it Toronto. Yeah, I mean, it's Toronto. Although, if you're from proper Toronto, a lot of people in Toronto say Toronto. They say Toronto, not Toronto. They say Toronto. 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 Oh, you're from Toronto? British Columbia. Yo, I spent my summers in Vancouver all the time. My dad lived out in Vancouver, and so during the summers we would go out to the Vancouver and spend our like a month or two on out there. I'd have been okay with that, but if he pronounced it Toronto, dude, that's a hard no. Immediately stop. No, it's not Toronto. Every time they say Toronto, you know they're not Canadian. Yeah, you can tell I'm Canadian because I say Toronto. Or Toronto, yeah. I don't say Toronto. I lived in Mississauga. I'm a fake Toronto person, which is how you know I'm not from the city proper, is because I say Toronto without the second T. You want to go to Banff, but it's always so cold. Actually, really funny story. I went out to see my parents out because my parents live in Alberta. I went out to see them, and it was like May, and it was still cold because Alberta's always cold in May. And we went out to Banff to see to just hang out in the mountains because my husband had never seen the Rocky Mountains at the time. So we went out to Banff with my mom, and it was like really cold until we got to Banff. Then we got to Banff and we were like going to get lunch in Banff. I've said Banff like 6 times. It's like losing all meaning. But we show up and we're expecting it to be cold, so we were gonna eat inside. And then like suddenly like the clouds lifted and it was like 20 degrees Celsius suddenly. A beautiful sunny day in May. And we got to sit on the patio. No one's around because it was cold like 5 minutes ago. And now all of a sudden it's like 20 degrees and beautiful. And so we sat on the patio having a beer and like having dinner with my mom, like just with the mountains out there. Oh my God, Banff is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. When we left, it snowed, yes, in May, which it does. You have family in Edmonton long ago. You want to go back there? I wouldn't want to live in Alberta again, personally, just because it's a very conservative part of Canada, and I don't really feel like I belong there. But as far as like a place to live, it is not a bad place to live, if you're okay with that. But I was not so much. It was cold, and 5 minutes later, it was like nice hot sun. Yeah, it was crazy. It's like a hot like wave just came in. It was crazy. My favorite hockey team is the Calgary Flames. I have been a Calgary Flames fan for like 20 years now. You're originally an Irish family. Dad wants to move to America, but he wasn't fond of the times, so Canada made sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Canada's basically America light, but like with like a more liberal government and like in general anyway, sometimes not so much. And like it's a great place. It's just a little cold. One of the big reasons I moved away from Canada was the weather. I mean, the salary was part of it too. I make a lot more money in America, but you have a grandparent in Italy. Dude, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Europe so bad. I've never been to Europe. I've been to America, Canada, obviously. We've been to Mexico. We've been to like a couple Caribbean islands, and we went all the way south to like Aruba, which is technically South America, but I've never been off the continent other than that. My husband and I have been trying like European wines lately, and we're like, wait, actually European wines are really good. So we've been wanting to go out there. I think it would be just do like a tour of like Spain through France down into Italy or something. I think that would be really cool. Just spend like a month in Europe and just go all the way from like Barcelona up like through south of France and then in like around the Mediterranean. I think that would be so cool. Like Switzerland and like France and then like Italy. Oh man, that would be so cool. You think you'd like South America too? I think so too. I don't know where in South America we would go though. I'd love to go to like Peru or something like that. You may go see them before you move to Tokyo. That sounds like a great time. It's one of the vacations that we'd really like to go on. Is Europe in general. Like I said, we've been loving the wine. I love cheese. I am worried that stinky European cheese is too stinky for me. But I do love a cheese and a wine. So I don't know. Maybe France is my place. I've always thought like the South Mediterranean shore of France would be like such a cool place to like retire to. What's the farthest I've been from home? Probably Aruba. It's pretty far. Your former neighbor was from Cape Breton and he went full maritimer. Yeah, they talk crazy out there. I have a couple friends from out there too. I actually know a lot of people that are Canadian that have moved out east to like PEI and New Brunswick and stuff like that, just because it's so cheap out there compared to like the rest of Canada. And if you don't like, especially if like you're an artist or a streamer or something like that, it's like the best place to be because it's like it's cheap, the people are friendly, like the weather's not so bad. It can be pretty rough in the winter, I've heard. But like I've heard it's like a beautiful place to live, especially as like a streamer or an artist or something like that, just because cost of living is so low. But yeah, Ecuador is beautiful. I have heard a lot of good things about South America. It's not like really high on my list of places I want to travel, but it's definitely up there. South America in general. Like I said, I want to go see like the ruins in like Peru and stuff like that in what are they called, the Nazca lines, and like the in Lima, I think Lima is No, it's not in Lima. Yeah, Machu Picchu? Yeah, I think that would be very cool. Any intentions to visit Australia? Yes, I would love to go to Australia and New Zealand. That's definitely up there too. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty hard to hike. Machu Picchu. Oh my gosh, Dr. Wildlife, welcome. Hi, welcome Raiders. How was your stream? Here, let me hit you with the beans. Beans. Welcome on in, Raiders. Hi, my name is Sing. I'm a variety streamer. We're streaming on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. On Tuesdays, we're doing VR stuff, like today. On Saturdays and Sundays, we're playing longer games. On this Saturday, we're going to be playing Elden Ring, just like every other streamer probably, but this one's an otter, so come check me out. Doc Raid, welcome on in. To those in my community who don't know, Dr. Wildlife is a noted wildlife biologist. Good friends with my friend that I went to school with, Aaron, or Nasido, you might know of them. And they have great educational content. So if you haven't heard of Dr. Wildlife, you should definitely go check them out. They are a great streamer, great entertainer, and a great educator. Definitely check them out. Twitchy Naro, Terry the Fulf, Rocky Hyena, and Akira G-Shep, and Airy Kitty. Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. You were just hyping me up in the stream before ending? Thank you so much. For those who don't know, actually, I'm not an educator. I am a biochemist, though. I work for a biopharmaceutical company as a research associate. And I work a lot in histochemistry and I can't talk specifics, unfortunately, because I don't want to dox myself. But I do a lot of stuff with basically morphology and stuff like that. So, but we do some breakdowns of like molecular biology and biochemical topics here. So if you like that, you could stick around for that as well. Ara Torres and Elf Cicada, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, R Torres, thank you for gifting us tier 1 sub to Dr. Wildlife. Dr. Wildlife, welcome to the Clam Club VIP Lounge where the Wi-Fi is always clean. There's a few biochemists that were in your chat you just brought over to me. Oh, cool. That's really cool. Yeah. So I can talk a little bit about what I do. I cannot talk specifics, and I specifically can't talk about the specific research papers that I'm working on. But we do a lot of cell typing with histochemistry and FISH, which is fluorescent in situ hybridization, for those who don't know. We do some of that. I also do some molecular biology sequencing, stuff like that. It's really difficult for me to say these things without like doxing myself and saying specific, because there's certain keywords I could say that if you're a biochemist, you could Google them and you'd figure out exactly where I work. So it's a little tough. So I don't do that, but we do work with sequencing, IHC, stuff like that. So, but yeah. So sometimes we break that down here. So the otter works with fish. I do fish. Yes, that is true. How long till I get fired from eating them? If I ate my ish probes, probably nothing would happen, if I'm being honest. It would just be a really expensive meal. Little Mako, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome. More research on stem cells, more plant-based ECM. That's pretty cool. I can say one thing that I'm gonna work on, because it's not really NDA to say this. We just got organoids in. We're gonna be working on organoids, which I'm very excited for, because I've never gotten to do that. So we're gonna be cell culturing some organoids. That'll be very cool. Any work to use viruses to carry otter DNA to turn people into furries? I wish, but no. Sadly, no. Sadly, no. Organoid sounds like an arcade title? No, it's not, but it does sound like that. An organoid is like an artificial cell, basically. So it's like we take a population of cells and then we cell culture them in a dish. So we can do things like make representative cell culture or cell layers that basically act as though they were like brain cells or liver cells or something like that. And so, but they're artificial cells, basically, modeled to look like they're, to behave like there are certain types of cells. And by using those, we can actually examine like the biochemistry of living cell systems without actually like taking a piece of like a human brain. It's really useful for like studying like origins of life research or active chemical interactions in cell lines. It's a good way to do that stuff, because like obviously I can't cut like a person's brain open while they're alive and take a piece of their brain, right? But we can do model systems with organoids, it's a really cool way to do studies. I'm really excited to be able to do that. I can't talk about obviously the specifics because that's all NDA. I have another project that I'm not allowed to talk about at all, but I will say it is the coolest thing I have ever done, and when the paper is done, I might share it with people. Although I think that would also out me of who I am. So I don't know, we'll see. But it's the coolest thing ever. I don't even know that I could talk about specifics. But it has to do with like space stuff, we'll just say that. Space related research. That's probably the most broad I can speak about it. It is like I've always wanted to be an astrobiologist. I almost went to school for astrobiology, but then ended up getting jobs in like what I'm doing now that make it sort of impossible for me to give up like the salary that I'm making to go back into school. But space research and origins of life stuff is like so near and dear to my heart that like the ability to do anything that's even close to that is like a dream come true. I'm so excited for it. Otter space, yeah, I mean the joke is right there. It is right there. But yeah, I'm very excited. Actually, funny story, I actually originally, Dr. Wildlife, you're a wildlife biologist, I'm correct, right? Not I mean ecology, wildlife biology, it's all sort of similar. The funny story is that actually I originally was enrolled in wildlife biology as my major. I originally wanted to be a zoologist because my dream was that I wanted to work with animals and save them. I then found out that I was deadly allergic to grass pollen during my first field season in ecology. I was working with birds, and I ended up in the hospital and almost died. So then I had to switch to a major on something that kept me kind of indoors a little safe. So then I switched into like genetics and biochemistry. But yeah, I was originally supposed to be that. I was in the same program as Aaron, actually. Your and my good friend Aaron. Yeah, they were in my exact same program. I've been trying to reach you about my tail's extended warranty. This one, I think it's gonna be okay. I don't think there's any damage to my tail right now. Yeah, I didn't end up so bad. I wasn't like I was like I was like in anaphylaxis, like my face was all swollen shut and stuff because of the grass pollen. I didn't end up like having too much difficulty breathing because they caught it early and they were able to give me like medication and I was fine. But basically the doctor said if I went out to the field again and walked through all of that again, it could cause a serious problem. And so I had to pull out of that field of work. You're more on molecular biology. My degree is in molecular biology. I just moved more into protein because I sort of like the way that protein works and like little machines. You drop it, get it ready for sleep. Thank you so much for dropping off your community with me, Dr. Wildlife. I really appreciate that. And have a good night's sleep. Thank you for coming by. Thank you. Yeah, actually, I was just in molecular biology. Like that was like my thing. Was molecular biology. I had to try to find something that I could do that I was like, well, maybe I could still help animals or something, but what am I good at? And in biology, I've done 1.5 years of biology now, and oh God, I just slapped my microphone. I'm so sorry. Okay, bring my microphone back. Slap my microphone by accident, my bad. So I had to find something to do that was like still biology. Yeah, I did hit my microphone. I'm sorry. It should sound okay now. I moved it again. So I moved into molecular biology because I was like, well, I was good at genetics in school. Yeah, you probably heard the crunch because I whacked my microphone because I was being so excited with my hands, with my paws. Destroying 21U. Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swinging on by. Welcome. Do I hang out in Deep Blue? I've not heard of it. I could look for it. Do you want to go there? We could go there. But yeah, I ended up wanting to do something sort of like more hard science-y. Excuse me, sir. Deep Blue. Let's take a look. Deep Blue. Ooh, it looks pretty. It does look pretty. We'll check it out. But yeah, I ended up doing biochemistry because I got into like second or third year or something like that. And like I learned about like the actual organic chemistry interactions, and I got really, really interested in the way that like enzymatic sites interacted with like inorganic compounds and catalyzed reactions. I thought it was like so cool. And so I just fell in love with these little machines, and sort of I really leaned into that. And so I basically double majored with molecular biology and biochemistry. I needed like 4 more classes to get my second degree. And then after that ended up working in recombinant protein production, and then in antibody work and antibody validation. And now I work in sort of histochemistry, and like I said, certain words I can't say or else you're going to know exactly where I work. I've had community members think that they figured out where I respectfully asked them not to say anything. All right, let's check out this deep blue world. I've never been here. My login has expired is the thing. It keeps doing that because I'm in a world not moving around. You think you figured it out? If you have figured out where I work, please do not post it. I appreciate that. But there are, to be fair, there's a lot of companies that could be what I'm talking about, because like there's a lot of companies that could be what I'm talking about because like a lot of people do it IHC or whatever. Look at this. Ooh. Oh, this is a Finn's world as well. That's cool. It's very bright. I look very different here. This is cute. Oh, there's like little birds up there. This is cute. Look at this little bedroom. Just send out a mass email to biotech companies on the West Coast to fish them identifying info. You're gonna have a hard time finding the company that's like, hey, do you have like a blue Wi-Fi otter working there? Yeah, you're not wrong. I do work for Twitch. That is technically true. This is cool. Look at these big rocks out here. The water's really pretty. All right, Ryu, have a good night, and I hope you have a good time at your interview. Have a good luck. I'm so bright. Yeah, I'm really bright here is the thing. All of the lighting here is like, it seems like it's dynamic lighting, and even when I'm in like a dark corner over here, I'm still really bright. The underwater here is awesome. I could check that out. But yeah, I'm very bright compared to how I normally look in the other areas. I'm bright, I'm a scientist. The water is like really pretty looking. Look at this. Like the water down here, it's like the texture is like really nice. Whatever they use here is really nice. Oh no, my eyes will still flash. You just have to like, I have to get really close for you to see it, see? You can see like the scan lines. It's just that they glow brighter in the dark. When I'm in the dark, all of this stuff glows, but it only glows when I'm in the dark. And my Wi-Fi is 6E. Ooh. The underwater over here is basic. Wait, can I swim? Wait, I'm like swimming. It like has, wherever I look, it like I can go up or down in the water. That's very cool. Huh. You can actually kind of swim around. You could have done a lot, but he took a job in Tokyo. I think the job in Tokyo is going to be a good experience for you. Yo, there's a shark over there. Do you guys see it? Is it still there? It's like over there by the building. See? The shark right there. Yeah, the water's kind of an abyss. There should be coral and an underwater bedroom. I think, an underwater bedroom. Work for the science division of control. That would be crazy. I have no idea where this underwater bedroom might be, but there is an area over here I haven't been. Yo, there's like a nice little bar. It's like a little tiki bar. They got like little glasses, and they have more beers that are the size of a whole otter. You can drink the booze. Yeah, I can like fill up all the glasses. Is there physics on the bottles? Absolutely not. Yeah. Umbrella Corp? No, I don't work for Umbrella Corp. Ace the Phoenix Fox, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for swimming on by. Welcome, welcome. Consume the alcohol. You have to synthesize brains. That would be cool. If I could make a synthetic brain, that would be extremely cool. If I could add a single feature to VR chat, what would it be? I would love to be able to interact with people's models a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. I think supposedly like the new update that they're gonna do in VR chat will like add a lot of stuff for optimization, which is very cool. Oh, what is this? The underwater dome. Chat, look. The underwater dome. Like my paws not intersect with folks. I want to be able to like play with people's whiskers or their hair, right? Like I can't do that. There's no colliders with other people. This looks like an outhouse. Yo! Look how pretty. This is nice.
I want to make knives that explode before touching people in VR.
Knives that explode before they touch people. Aces, what? Fun time, Foxy. Welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for staying on by. Welcome, welcome. Dude, I am even brighter down here. There is a bed here. I'm not sure why there's a bed here. Boops your face. Boops your face. Boop. I'm not sure why there's a bed here. I guess it's just supposed to be like a hangout space, but it is a little weird. There's like a little tunnel over here too. What is this? Oh, is this just a mirror? Ugh. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Everyone gets their own dome. Yeah, I am very radiant in this room. This world in general is like very bright. Like there's certain spots where I'm standing where I'm like practically all white. Look at this. I'm like practically all white. I'm a white otter. Like the knives that go through the air, but before they reach you, they explode. There's a giant whale. Yeah. There's a giant whale over me. He's a little big. So yeah, BioShop opening moment. So do the knives, Aces, do the knives explode before they touch someone and then explode into a bunch more knives? Have I seen a whale in real life? Yes. Although lately, no. I've never seen a whale in the Pacific Sound. That would be very cool. All right, Kana Kineko, thank you for coming by. I hope to see you around again sometimes. Welcome on into the community. They could? See, now that would be cool. Now I'm interested. There's a sea turtle. Look. Oh gosh, I'm falling. Oh gosh, I'm falling forever. Oh gosh, I'm stuck. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, respawn. Ah, okay. There he is. Sea turtle's down there. There he is. Right there. Yeah. All right, Javi Arts, have a good night. Thanks for coming by. You just imagine them disintegrating, but my idea is better. I think my idea is pretty good. It just explodes into 1,000 knives. Ride him, he takes you on a trip. Ugh. He doesn't really do anything. He kind of doesn't want... it seems like he's just kind of vibing, to be honest. Do the knives also... That's a good question. Do the knives that have exploded out of the knife also then explode? Do they create infinite knives, like smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller knives? There should be a box on his back. Maybe you have to call the one riding on the wharf. Call the riding one on the wharf. My nose is going at an angle. Yeah, they do that sometimes. I gotta look for a place to, like, ride the... I'm looking. Graphics high, default. Okay. I don't see anything here. There's colliders. It's a butt. Turtle bus rod. 20-minute cooldown. Wait at pier when clicked. Turtle bus rod. Wait at pier when clicked. "20-minute cooldown. Turtle bus rod." Yeah, it's the turtle bussy. I don't see it. Is this not the pier? Do you a favor and blow you a kiss? Mwah. He'll come from the right. There he is. He's right there. Yo! Hold up. I gotta move the camera. I can't control the camera right now. I'm kind of stuck down here. I'm down here, chat. I'm on the turtle. Oh god, this is so disorienting. Oh gosh. This is so disorienting. He do be taking me for a ride though. I want to grab the camera, but like my controls are disabled. I'm just stuck down here. I can't point it at myself. Seath Blood, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for sending on by. Also, it's like it's got me pointed so that like my camera is like pointed up at the sky. I might have to sit a second time. I am sit on him. Yeah, there's no real other way to sit. I think it's warn us if I'm gonna puke. Why? Is that something like you're after? Like, oh god, this is my fingers in front of my chest. What if I sit? Oh wait, I have to sit in real life. Hold up. Yeah. There we go. It's still a little weird. At least the camera's pointed at me better. I can crouch. Oh gosh. I can crouch and it's kind of okay. But it's like forcing me to look this way. But I can't like turn around. Now I'm stuck inside the turtle. Oh no. Send help. They've merged me with a turtle. I have become a turtle. It's for taller folks? Yeah, it's only for big not otters. You gotta be like 6 feet to ride the turtle. Stardog, welcome to the Clam Club. Thanks for coming on by. You can't really... Stardog, I can't... Listen, I can't really see you or talk to you. This is as best as I can do right now. I'm kind of stuck in here. What do you think of the crowd-based programs like Folding at Home and Rosetta at Home that allow you to research proteins that can help with flying? I think that those problems have been solved already by AlphaFold, and that there's not really any point for Folding at Home to exist anymore. I am stuck in here, though. They're taking me to like a big coral island. I'm like, there's down there, there's a coral island or something. There's also a Flippy Flappy over there. You can't see, but there is a Flippy Flappy. I could just follow him around to wherever he's trying to take me. There is like a big... Chat, hang on. Look at this. There's like a big ravine down here. The turtle's still here. He's over here. Right there. But there's a big, like, ravine. It's like Subnautica style. Yeah, half my head was just sort of disappeared there for a second. Yeah, we can go mining down there for, like, some minerals or whatever, right? Teenage Mutant Nodder Totters? What the heck? Wait, he's going down there. Hold up. I gotta follow him. We're under the turtle. The turtle's still here. Here he is. He's going down here, though. There's an enable a swimming. I am swimming, though. No, but I am swimming, kinda. I can swim up and down a little to get into, like, the kelp forest over here. This is pretty cool. You can see the turtle back there still. Yo, this is really pretty. Look at this. Above me, there's like a school of fish. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Subnautica. Isn't there a mod for Subnautica that lets you play it like in VR or something? I think. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Yeah, this is pretty cool. The VR is built in, but only partially supported. I heard it was kind of bad. Subnautica. That's what I should have named my Subnautica series. Where's the turtle? Oh, he's still just vibing back here. It's really old VR. Yeah, I heard that like the I also heard that sorry, I'm trying to make the camera actually look at me here. I heard that the Hitman 3 VR is pretty janky too. All right, Vince Wolf, thanks for coming by. I'll see you around. Thanks for dropping by. I'm gonna respawn here because I feel like I'm done. I am not allowed to respawn. There we go. Yeah, bye, Vince. Bye.
I got to hold a pit bull puppy on the 19th. Just wanted to share that.
Aw, that sounds so cute. Are you gonna get a puppy, Aces? You should get a puppy. I do love a puppy. I want to get a puppy real bad. I've been thinking, okay, the other day, Ty on their stream, okay, no, it's not important. It's just, okay, so Ty on his stream the other day, there's this comedian. If you're watching TV, you probably know this comedian. It's the, like the large girl. She's blonde, and she, like, was in some funny movies. I don't know. And she's in this commercial where it's like a Uber Eats commercial, and she eats lipstick. Anyway, there's this movie she was in where she has this line where she's like, I want to have sex on a boat real bad. And it's been in my head rent-free because Ty said it on their stream. A science world in VR chat. Like, what kind of science are we talking about? I will say, I do love a science center. I love this science center. Yeah, what kind of puppy do I want? I want a Samoyed puppy. Later, my dad sent me a video of his golden retriever playing with that puppy and his siblings. Dude, I bet you want a puppy real bad, though, right now, don't you? Yeah, I know dogs are a really big responsibility. My parents have had dogs for, like, ever. So, I know about dogs, but we've had, like, my parents actively have, like, 8 dogs at a time, basically, at any given moment. I think right now they have 5. They have 5 dogs. But yeah, a Samoyed is the dog I want. I want a Samoyed really bad. Like, really bad. I think we should go back to the beach. The original beach that we were at. Let's go back to the original beach. You do, but you don't have time and money. Yeah. My big thing is that I don't want to get a puppy unless I can give it, like, the best life possible. Like, I can spoil the crap out of it. Like, if I can't spoil the crap out of my doggy, then, like, what am I even doing? You know? Because I want to, like, I want to have a doggy that I can, like, take it for, like, 10 walks a day and feed it fancy, oh God, it's the porn song again. There we go. I want to have a puppy that I can like take for a walk every day. I want to give it fancy food. I want to play with it constantly. I want to have a big yard for it to play in. And if I don't have those things, I feel like I'm like not doing a service getting my dog. You know what I mean? I want it to be the nicest, happiest, spoiled dog. Like, what type of fancy food? Like steak every day. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to have like raw food every day. You know? Dude, I love the views in this world. The views in this world are so good. Stop recommending people get pets because most people can't care for them properly. The nice thing is that I do work like a 10-minute walk from my home. And so if I wanted to, I could just get a dog and then like, oh, am I tracking a little off? There we go. I could get a dog and just like come home and walk it like whenever I want, multiple times a day. But, you know, I don't know. The problem is that I live in an apartment and then I won't have a big yard to run around in. So I want to be able to like let my dog out and let him run around in the yard and chase birds or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? You need a babysitter or something. You can literally do that. You can take your dogs to like dog sitters or whatever, or like there's like doggy daycares. Yards are for folks that don't take their dogs out enough. I still think I would like to have a yard for the dog to run around in, even if I do take the dog out a lot. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Doggy daycare, I'm sure, gets really expensive too, though. Like taking them to a daycare every day. Just like taking your kid to a daycare every day, I'm sure it's like hella expensive. Yards are good for paying catch. For what it's worth, I live near a park, so it's not too bad. $45 a day for doggy daycare. Holy crap. That is expensive. That's very expensive. That's pretty standard. Damn, they cost like kids' money. That's like kids' money. If we still had stay-at-home wives, income pets would be viable. Yeah, but then, you know, the whole oppression of women thing is not great. $60 for boarding overnight. I understand that. Like, if you're on a vacation, it's built into your cost of a vacation. Like, oh, I need to leave my dog at, like, a doggy daycare for a week. Okay, that makes sense. But, like, just for the day while you're at work, $45? Man, that's a lot. We adopted our dogs both 3 years ago. Like, I want a dog real bad because I want a Samoyed to cuddle, like, really bad. Being able to afford to live on one income. Yeah, if the world wasn't changed to be like that, yeah, maybe. You're on your second dog. She only needs 2 good long walks a day and a park play. That's the other thing is that I work a job where I could end up being at the lab for like 16 hours any given day, right? Like if an experiment runs long, I just have to be there. I do work close to my company, but it's hard for me to say that I'd be able to just jump over here at any given time. So it's like, I can't just leave them alone for 16 hours, right? I could just jump over and walk them. Like, oh, I set up an experiment, I come home. I could do that, but it's like, I don't know. I can't guarantee it sometimes, you know? Hey, gatekeeper, hi. Stay-at-home husbands who draw furry art. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. That would be ideal. You could have a straight stay-at-home streamer boyfriend. They usually can't hold their bladder for more than 7 to 9 hours. I mean, same. Like, as a person, same. I don't think I could hold my bladder for 7 to 9 hours. That would be crazy. But yeah. I don't know. It's something I want, but I don't know. We'll see eventually if I can get one or not. I do want one really bad. I'm such a dog person. I've always been a dog person. I just want to play with dogs. But like it's the work every day, and then I'm streaming and I'm playing hockey, and then I have to, you know what I mean? And it just becomes a lot. You have super cheap rent because landlords are family, but money still issues. Bladder holding, God. Yeah.
Bladder holding stream.
That is definitely not allowed on TOS for sure. For sure, I'm not allowed to do that. But yeah, my rent is not cheap. But I can imagine, like, yeah. The cost of the dog is not so much of like why I don't get a dog. It's more the ability to spoil it and make sure I'm taking care of it and all that kind of stuff, more than anything, to be honest. There is dog rent. It's like $50 a month or something like that. It's not a big deal. It's not enough that I wouldn't do it. It's the cost. Like I said, it's not the cost. It's the, I want to make sure that I have the time for my dog. I do already have a dog name picked out though. Like, so I already, like, I actually, before I went to college, I wasn't sure I was going to get into college. And, I actually went and picked out a Malamute puppy that I was going to buy. I was like, okay, I'm going to get a puppy. I want a puppy. I had a puppy picked out. I went to a breeder and I picked out the dog and I'm like, I'm going to buy this dog. And then the next day after I said I was going to buy that dog, you know what I got? I got an acceptance letter to college. And I'm like, I cannot afford to go to college and have a puppy. So I did not do it. And since then, I've decided I don't think a Malamute is the right dog anyway. I think I would, like, the Samoyed is cuddly and still cute. And so, yeah, my mom is a dog breeder and always gives me shit for, like, saying that I want a Samoyed. And she's like, you just want a Samoyed because they're cute. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. She's like, you shouldn't buy a dog because it's cute. You should buy it for its personality. I'm like, well, it's cuddly too, Mom. And so whatever. It's so stupid. A graceful orange parrot. There you go. But yeah, Malamutes get very, very big. 120 pounds at 8 months old is insane. That's crazy. Cute as a personality. Exactly. Yeah, it's just that, like, my mom believes that you can know their personality as a breed or something. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. It's whatever. I just want a cute dog that wants to cuddle me. That's all I want. And it will cuddle me. I will cuddle it every day of its like puppy life until it loves me and it wants to cuddle me. That's it. That's the goal. Oh, a prickly aquamarine cat. Not quite. You guys are going to bankrupt me with these redeems. I have known vicious Goldens and loving pits. I don't think that, like, pit bulls are, like, vicious animals. I think that's ridiculous. All dogs have good personality. That's the thing. All dogs are good dogs. Exactly. All right, let's take a look here. I know I'm going to dude bro out real quick. I'm just clicking on some stuff. All right, yeah. I know I dude bro out when I go into my Steam menus or whatever. But the thing is that I can smell my husband's food right now because we just made dinner and it's making me really want that food. So I'm thinking about calling it in a minute here. Fluffy Road.
11 months of Otter.
Thank you for 11 months in the Clam Club VIP Lounge. Welcome back to the Clam Club VIP Lounge where the Wi-Fi is always clean. Thank you so much. That's almost 1 year. You are one more month away from 1 year. That's an early subscriber. That's a very early subscriber. We've only been streaming for about 13 months, so that is a very early subscriber. What's my Wi-Fi name? It's the Otternet. You got a call from an IT company in Tokyo that needs you this summer. I think you've mentioned that, yeah. I think a lot of places are short staffed, but being able to do a summer job in Tokyo sounds really cool. Go eat and don't starve myself. I am gonna do that. It's like breaded salmon or something. I think it's curry salmon. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I do love a salmon.
When I go to my dad's house, his golden squeaks and jumps all over me and nips until I sit on the floor, then she collapses onto the floor.
Aw, that sounds so cute. Are they asking for, like, belly rubs? That sounds like a belly rub situation. I've seen It Burns When I Pee. That's a funny Wi-Fi name. That's like a classic. That's a classic. Salmon is good. I do love salmon. Salmon's probably my favorite fish. Probably. That's your first time seeing it. I've seen it a couple times. It's definitely a classic. I've seen it around. Okay, if you could get a pet otter, would I get one? Probably not, because otters are wild animals, but I do really want to pet an otter real bad. I always forget how to do this. Hi, Retro Ninja. She isn't asking for anything. She just lays down because she's so excited. That's so cute. I love that. A domesticated otter is basically just like a ferret anyway, so a ferret would be very cute. I've thought about ferrets. I know they smell bad is the only thing. So I don't know. I do want a pet of some sort. I've thought about just getting like fish or something, or a lizard. Yeah, but ferrets are at least more domesticated. They're not domesticated, not really. They'll still steal all your stuff and bite you, but they are funny. Ferrets are still mustelids, so they're still like, you know, the same species. Not same species, same family. They're related to each other, so similar. They're long, cute animals. That's the thing. The ideal shape is long, tube-like. Fish also smell. Yeah, but they're also tasty. If you thought about that. It would take a few generations as possible. I know in Japan, they do have that. They do have, like, you're allowed to own otters. Because I've seen, like, Asian short-clawed otter videos, like, all over YouTube or whatever, of people that own them. But I really want to pet an otter. I know there's, like, a zoo where you can, like, stick your finger out and the otter will grab your finger, which is very cute. Wish you could have anything that won't get torn apart and eaten by 10 cats. Holy crap. That seems spooky. Cats are cute, though. I wouldn't mind a cat if I wasn't so allergic to them. Domesticated foxes took a few generations, and now they're loyal as a dog. Yeah, but they're also hyperactive as hell, right? You own 10 cats? Oh my god, that's a lot of cats. That's a lot of cat. You had a friend at a zoo that would let they pet them, and it's hard to get an otter pet as normal. Yeah. I am so jealous that you got to pet otters. That sounds so chill. But they're wild animals. They can still bite. And they do have a strong bite, right? So you had fish, but they ate each other except the last one. It died from overeating. That is such a you thing to say, Aces. You have to change your summer because it wasn't supposed to move till next year. Ah. Yeah, they can snap your fingers off easy. I mean, they can crush shells, right? So yeah, they could bite you really good. It's like, you ever seen those TikToks of like the girl that's just like a zookeeper and they walk up to all the big cats and they're just like petting the big cats, and the big cats are just sitting there like, they're just vibing, and they're just like, this is a big tiger just getting pats, and they roll over on a tummy, they're patting the tummy, and I'm like, dude, you do not pat a tummy. That's a danger pet. They're just purring away. Have you ever heard a tiger purr? Apparently they can purr. It's crazy. You have a comic goldfish. They were feeder fish at the pet store. Ah. Domestic faced foxes do zoom. Not sure how many hours they are active like that. It seems like a lot, to be honest. Our Taurus Wolf, thank you for gifting a tier 1 subscription to Terry the Floof. Terry the Floof, welcome to the Glam Club VIP. Enter the Wi-Fi is always clean. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Artorez Wolf. Thank you, thank you. They like boxes. Like the foxes like boxes. Foxes like box. Tigers and lions are just like house cats. Imagine how crazy or scratchy a house cat gets, but with claws the size of your hand. Yeah, that's scary. I have heard that rats make really good pets, actually. I've heard they're very playful. Like, they'll actually play fetch with you and stuff. Like, you can throw a little ball and they'll go get it for you. I've pet rats before, and they're very cute, actually. They're very, very nice. But I've been bit by rats before, too, and they have very sharp teeth. And, yeah, that's true. They also help you cook amazing meals. I do love a rat. I do love a rat. They're very cute. You're sorry? No, you're not. You would bite me if you could. Rats are super smart. Yeah, I agree. They're pretty smart. Even when they blunder a rook, you know. Gunner seems domesticated. I think Gunner is pretty domesticated. I think Gunner's a domesticated rat. Hi, Shizuku. Welcome on in. But yeah, you don't bite, you kick. Beans. I think we're gonna call it there. I want to grab some food. I'm gonna raid someone. I like to not say who we're gonna raid, but you can probably guess if you look at who's live right now. You can tactically sacrifice a rook. We'll see. Play me again. But yeah, I'm going to go grab dinner. Thank you so much for everybody coming out today. I had a great time today. We're definitely going to be doing another one of these, maybe even as soon as next week. So keep an eye out on the Twitter. Keep an eye out on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, it's !Discord in the chat. I do all my stream announcements there, and it's a great community. If you haven't joined it, it's an amazing community. Listen, you can't just guess who I'm going to raid just because you know who I like. Stop it. Don't ruin the surprise. But yeah, we'll do another one of these. If you're into Elden Ring, obviously every other streamer is going to be playing it too. But I would appreciate it if you came and see me do it. I love Elden Ring. I love Dark Souls. I think it's going to be a great time. We're going to be playing that on Saturday at noon Pacific. So if that's something you're looking for, keep an eye out for me. And I'll check that out then. Our Torres Wolf, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. Brand new subscriber, Tier 1. Welcome to the Clam Club VIP on for the Wi-Fi is always clean. Welcome, welcome. Smush Dog, Slunch Dog. All right, I think that's going to be it for now. I will see you guys again on Saturday, and hope you guys have a nice rest of your week. Stick around for the raid. I don't have a raid message. If somebody wants to post a raid message, we can say one. What's a good raid message? Let's come up with a raid message. What do you guys have a suggestion for the raid message? I can't really type in VR. Like, we could just do this as a raid message here. What Fox the Otter just posted. You want to do that? Clean your Wi-Fi. That's a great one. Clean your Wi-Fi. Do it with the sparkles here. The dab one, just dabbing. How was stream? Stream's good. We could talk about it later. I can't really type a raid message. If somebody can type a raid message out, then we can use that. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's perfect. Exactly this. Exactly what Grim just posted. Just copy and paste that a bunch of times. Somebody copy and paste the clean your Wi-Fi thing right there. Boom. Right there. That's what I want to see. Right there. Spent the last hour and a half sorting my kitchen. Yo. That sounds like hell. Okay, so there's the raid message. I will see you guys on Saturday. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I had a great time. We're definitely going to do this again sometime. Keep an eye out. I have a big surprise coming up soon. So keep an eye on that notification. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.